All right. Let me grab this title. This. All right. All right. What's up, guys? We are back. Hope you guys had a great night or day. I don't know. Everybody's located somewhere else. But we're continuing the grind here. Just give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna get the stream shared out real quick so people know. But yeah, basically just gonna be pushing a little bit more. Not gonna be streaming too long today because I got some other stuff. I got some group stuff I gotta do today. Let's see here. We're gonna go to this tab. And then I also got to do this video. But I was like, there's kind of some important stuff I got to talk about. So, all right, let's see. Boom. Yo, what's up, God King? How you doing, bro? How's everything going, man? It's been a little bit. How's everything going, bro? Yeah, how is everything going, man? We're back at it. Oh, that's funny. I think Mizzle just added me. That's funny. Let me see. What did he ask? Was asking about. Was that packs? He was asking about pay packs. I'm not gonna lie. I actually think from what we looked at, I think the best packs are literally the first ones that pop up with your account. Let's see. All right, cool. Now that's situated. Now I can pay attention. All right, there we go. Let me respond to this. All right, there we go. Okay. All right, so we got a couple of different things we got to do because we actually need to, and I was going to save, I was going to do a poll, and then I thought about it. I was like, wait a minute. Progression in this game doesn't work like that. So there was a couple of things, and I'll probably mention it in the video. I forgot to actually mention it because it is a big part of some of your resource yield. But as you're leveling, you are going to be getting resources from just simply playing the game. So the more you play, the better, right? EXP for your account level really doesn't start to slow until you get probably until like, I feel like maybe like the 40s or so. Yeah, because it took me a little bit to get to 50. And then once I got to 50, it's definitely super slow after 50. I think I'm currently like 51 on my main account. So yeah, it does start to slow pretty significantly, but everything in between up to that point is pretty important. The other thing is too, we also have the new player welcome tournament. This actually is giving you a good source of like memoriam and books, and memoriam is going to kind of help you, like, especially because of how they did this, where you just kind of get thrown into the events. It actually is going to allow you to get more resources than I actually thought, because you're just going to be doing a lot of this stuff by default. Like Omnisci just so happened to be kind of perfect for a new account because you're by default needing to do that for a lot of missions. Arena, you kind of need to do. And then I'm trying to think here. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Arena, you kind of have to do. Gear up is kind of something you have to do by default as well. So yeah, those are actually like kind of nice events to have up on a fresh account. You said start playing today. Should I save all my pools and when should I spend them? Well, there is two things you could do, right? Realistically, I don't think it's the smartest to start saving in the very, very beginning, just because you need to kind of see what you can work with. But you can do it, right? The I would say the work around that is that you would have to then kind of rely on, and it's something I know a lot of players aren't thinking about because everybody usually has like a very tunnel vision. I need this one character. That's the one character I use. In this game, you're able to use more than one of the same character. So if you wanted to go that route, you would actually have to do something like farming, because every chapter has a different character that can drop. So you would farm up multiple copies of that character if you were just going to be saving all your pulls. It would be a mix between, that, and then for missions, you are going to have to use like some of your wild stones. That's pretty recoverable though. Like your wild stones are going to be like, our wild star summons are going to be like super, super in abundance comparatively to any other summon you'll get in the game. But at some point, you're going to actually use these to help you in summon events. So like on my main account, I did the entire event free to play, and I use wild stars basically to summon that entire event. And I was able to basically hit that, like whatever, the top threshold in points with just wild stars. So wild stars do end up becoming a lucrative way for you to finish out events, especially like the Invoker Summon Surge free to play. And doing that, of course, gave me the necessary crowns for the chase and stuff like that. So of course, depending on the rarity of what you have, like, if you have fate stars comparatively to the number of wild stars you'll need, like free to play, in order for me to do the Invoker Summon Surge, it took about 2.7k wild stars. But when you're at endgame, that's not a lot, because like at one point, I think that most amount of wild stars I had sitting on my account at one point was about like 4 or 5k. So it's like when you're just like accumulating and farming, like wild stars literally drop in almost everything. So it's between that, your shards, there's a lot of workarounds. So you can use uncommons to start your push. It's just like once you get up to like, I say like around like stage 30 to 40, you kind of want to average it out between just it being your rares, maybe a mix of uncommons. You're not going to be using commons at all. But yeah, it's doable, but you would just have to use multiple of the same character. Some people don't mind doing it. Some people, they're against it. Like for example, I think and I wish I could show you, I can't look at it because I don't have any keys, but this tower, I'm actually using the free healer that they give you, Drovis. I ended up using a fate star, and it gave me another copy of her. So I just threw her in there too. Now, a strategy too, it's a really important thing to think about as well, how you use these, the towers to gain EXP. It's extra EXP. And so throwing things, and this is something you think about like regularly, when you start it out, throw things in there that are low level so you can level them for free. Because you do gain EXP as you're climbing tower. You're gaining shards, you're getting EXP pots, you're getting gold, you're getting, what's the other thing that's dropping? Always forget what it's called. It's something else that drops too. But point in case, there's a ton of stuff dropping. So yeah, that's basically what you want to take advantage of. Is it Nia or Niaiba? I want to make sure I'm saying your name right, fam. How you doing? You said, do you know if Invokers will have a PC client? They did mention they are working on it, so we know we're going to be getting one. Yo, what's good, Lord Goose? How you doing, fam? But yeah, so that's how you can kind of work around in the beginning, and then afterwards, when it comes to like saving for events, oh no, I can actually do this. This is why I'm actually kind of glad they did our profile swaps like this, because I could just swap pretty simply. Let me see. So all right. This is kind of what I'm doing right now, right? So I haven't spent any money on my account, which is its own thing, but um, let me see. Boom. And you have to excuse me if there's a whole bunch of pop-ups because I just downloaded the game on the this other emulator. I was using Mumu. Shout out to homie Kirito. If you guys are looking to play the game on a much smoother experience, I would definitely recommend LD Player 14 Beta. That's running the game pretty well. But yeah, like I'm like basically stacking everything right now, right? So Divine Stars, Destiny Stars. Like I said, I blasted almost 3K Wild Stars, and I'm already back up to about 600 and something. Holding on to my Miracle Orb. I technically do have enough if I wanted to actually do the tournament, but I have enough crowns organically to where I can get Tyrannus without having to use them. So if you find yourself in positions like that, don't do events you don't have to. Right? Like that's like the biggest thing. Yeah, don't do events you don't have to. I will say like one of the things, and I probably was one of the few people that actually figured out the schedule on point. So everything so far that I kind of predicted is exactly how the schedule is, even down to no 1, 2, 3, yeah, even down to like the layovers on them. So yeah, there's some people that were able to figure out the rotations. A lot of it though was because of how they laid out the crowns. So they kind of like stacked them on top of themselves. So we knew that those events were going to be coming more than one time. And it was like kind of obvious. Arena Rush coming 3 times, for example. Ogerum technically was 2 rotations. Sakael was only 1. So, you know, you plan out your events, figure out what chase you want to do. That's when you kind of use your summons. And the most important thing, and it's a little different than what I play with these types of events. You can collect points during chases for any of these categories at any point. It's just more efficient if you are a free-to-play player to do the events during it 2 times. So a lot of people are like, oh, I can't do these events. Like, no, you're always accumulating points no matter what. But you get more value as a free-to-play player doing it during the 2 times. Of course, spenders get value, but they have purchase power. So they don't have to abide by 2 times. There was dudes that, like, for example, some of these events dropped, and the only 2 times that was up was for Ogerum at the time. And there were dudes on the first day that finished this chase. Like, that was just, I was like, dang, dude, like, there it is, right? Like, so dudes with purchase power, I mean, they don't really have to abide by the 2 times. But if you're free to play, those 2 times really do help you out significantly. So that's just kind of like food for thought, I guess. So as a player that knows nothing of the game, how do I select which event I need or have to do? Okay, so when you look at like what events are up, all of these events are, I'll focus on like the hunts first, right? So hunts are going to be in relevance to how you're developing and building your characters, right? So like you have Omnisci Hunt, which is necessary for Ascension. Crest is also for Ascension as well. You have Titan Power Up and technically Invoker Power Up are a part of investing and building up your units as well. So we'll factor those 2. Your hunts are for relics are obviously for gear. And then you have Invoker Power Up, you have Gear Up, and then you have the last hunt, which is Sakael. Now, the way it kind of works is like, for example, we had Ogerum first, right? Like that was the very first event. But then the very next thing after it was a Gear Up event. But in the same breath, while that Gear Up event was going on the second day of the Gear Up event, also started the Althar event. So what you do is some people decided, hey, I'm going to use the gear that I farmed from Ogerum to level up during the Gear Up event for those points. But then there was other people that was like, well, I don't really value Ogerum gear like that, but I do value the Althar gear. So I'm going to wait till the last day of the Gear Up event to level up whatever Althar gear I farm. So the way you plan it is really honestly according to what you need or what is more valuable to your account. So like in the beginning, Olgrim is pretty valuable for fresh accounts. Althar is too. Like they're both pretty impactful when you're first starting out. But you would ultimately use one of the two based off of the overlap, right? You just don't want to do it and then like say you miss it altogether. That's when you fall into like, you know, now you're missing crowns, for example. Same thing with like the leveling part. You know, like, okay, this chase, I'm trying to get this champion. I'm not gonna use my EXP and start blasting leveling my characters. I'm gonna wait until the Invoker power up is ready, because I actually can. It's the format of double dipping. Yo, what's good, Kirito? It's double dipping, right? So double dipping allows you to, if you go to any of these events, you'll see there's always a mileage bar. There's the mileage bar for the event itself. And then the chase has its own accumulation of points, which you see indicated here at the bottom. Double dipping would be you accumulating on a 2 times points for this and then finishing the mileage bar at the same time. So that's kind of how you want to do it. You can technically do gearing up and still get points outside of a gear up event, right? For a chase. The problem is that, like I said, if you're free to play, you're not getting a 2 times, which means that you have to put in double the amount of resources to be able to hit that goal of whatever points it's asking you for per event. And some events without that 2 times is just not feasible or realistic for free to play. So you kind of are like, I need to use that 2 times. And this is also our first chase as well. So the devs have already said too, like with certain events, they're going to have to revamp them, because certain point thresholds were just kind of unrealistic, and or a little bit too reliant on just the number of players that we currently have. So like Arena Rush, for example, is going to be probably one of the, in my opinion, I think Arena Rush might be between 1 and 2 like most difficult events to do for most people, because the only other one that I feel like is just as hard, if not just as difficult, is going to be between Titan Summon Surge and Titan Power Up. And that's just because Titan summons are a lot rare in the game. And then Arena is just the fact that we just had the open beta just come. So a lot of you guys that are coming in new are going to be helping expand Arena territory. So there's going to be more people to actually fight. We've been basically fighting the same group of tight-knit people. And so it makes it much harder to actually climb when everybody is kind of strong, and then you're just stuck, right? Like, it's like, okay, I kind of get 1 or 2 hits per refresh, maybe. So that is kind of more or less what's affecting that, than it just outright just being hard. So I think with more players, Arena is going to be much more feasible to do, because really the only guys that's just kind of like ooga boogering everybody is like the top guys, that, you know, the top wells. So that's kind of that. But so if you're about to start playing, is there any chance of finishing the event, or should you ignore it? I don't think you're going to get enough crowns. That's the only way I think you would actually feasibly be able to finish it. You would have to come number 1 in your locals, and then also finishing these as well. That's the only way. Because gear up, that's 10. If you won local, that would be 20. Arenas, 30. If you did all 3 rotations, which I think this is actually the last rotation. This might be the last rotation, so I think you're really capped at. Technically, you can do all 3 crown rotations in one. So let's say you did the gear up, that's 20. You do Arena Rush, that's 30. That's 40. So that puts you at 60. Titan Summon, if you did that, would put you at another. That'll put you at 80. Omnisci would put you at, there's 2 rotations of that, so that would be at 30. So it's like 110. So it's possible, but I wouldn't bank on that as a free to play, because you don't know what group you get, and if you get one well in your group, then GG to getting that extra crown. That's the only reason why I wouldn't go crazy, because you basically missed about a week and a half of event grinding, right? So that's the thing. It's like it is possible, but it's just a matter of like if you actually are number 1 in your local events, and then on top of that, finishing the events. Are most free-to-play players going to be finishing a Titan Summon Surge? Probably not. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. You're not. Like, you're just not. It's not gonna happen. That's something I absolutely do think if you're free to play, you would have had to have save for. If you're spending, then that of course is its own thing. Arena is also kind of rough too, because depending on your bracket, it affects how many points you get. So that's also another thing. With the hunts, it's also kind of the same thing. You know, if you're farming low tier dungeons, it's not like the game's fault at that point, right? You're just in early game, so you just don't get as many points. Really, the most efficient stage to farm, you would need to be farming at least minimum stage 12 for the hunts to actually make sense. In order for you to like kind of basically, I guess, have like a good energy to drop ratio. Otherwise, you kind of get cooked at that point. It's just not efficient. So yeah, I would say, me personally, like with this account, I'm not even trying to go after Tyrannus. I just think that it would be better off getting your account stabilized and then preparing for whatever next chase you want to go after. That's just kind of what I would do, but like I said, it just depends on like purchase power and stuff like that. You said new launch. The game is, it's still technically not out for global release. It's in a open beta early access, I guess. So I technically yes. Milton, like technically yes. But they have had like a concentrated group of people that have been playing for a little bit. I myself have been playing now for about, I think it's been going on like 7-8 months, somewhere around there. But there's there's actually one guy in particular. His name is Waffles. You might come across him if you see him in the community. I think he has the longest tenure in the game. I think he started like May of last year. And the devs actually have kept track of that, so they know who's like been playing for a really long time. I think he's the player that's been playing the longest. And that was before they didn't have any spending. The game was like, it was bare bones and stuff like that. So, yeah, there's a couple of players that have been around that long. It's not a crazy group of people that's tenured like that, I guess. But yeah, other than that, like events is new. So a lot of the stuff that you guys are seeing is actually fairly new. A lot of the new player experience, pretty new. You know, like I said, the tournament for the new player, that's new. This chase is our first event. Like, and they were even using, we did a trial event prior to this one, but this is our first real week or first real rotation of events. And so even with this, they're going to be taking feedback and data from this and more than likely revamping events, the points, the cycle. So it's going to be a lot of learning, relearning. The nice thing is, though, is that if you jump in now, none of your stuff gets wiped. So that's including for those that decide that they want to spend. You keep everything on your account. You know, so that's kind of that. But other than that, yeah, there's a lot of things. They've dropped a roadmap. So we know that there's a lot of different types of content that's going to be coming to the game. They mentioned like sometime in like September, which is like right around the corner, that we're going to be getting like clan content and stuff like that, which then more than likely means at some point there's going to be like, you know, clan bosses and stuff like, which we don't have yet. So there's so many different aspects and layers of content that's going to add more resources into the game as well. So I think that that's kind of, it's like definitely one of those things where, you know, people are like, hey, I want more of this or more of that. But I also know like too, we have a lot of content that's going to be coming. So I would think that some of that stuff is going to be in there too. Like clan content, I don't see how that wouldn't be like a really big source of income per month for your account, to be honest. So yeah, I would definitely give it a try though. All right, so okay, the goal is, guys, with this account, if you are starting out fresh and you've been pushing, I'd say 100 stars. That's what I'm gonna try to clean up right now. Within your first day is pretty good. Like if you're not being Speedy Gonzalez, you can obviously do way more, way quicker. But I got hit with a weird reset window because of when I started, so I didn't really have a full day to grind. But yes, it is a little painful, or it may be fun for some of you guys in the beginning. But just get through the chest farm. and get your main core team built up, and then eventually you'll just be able to do stuff fast enough so you don't have to really go crazy over finding every chest. All right, there we go. Dude, this icy wind ain't it? And you would think at this point, as many times as I've done this, I would remember where the chests are. Nope. I'll walk right by it if I'm not paying attention. Or I could have definitely dashed on that, but yo, what's up, Lonzo? There's another chest. Oh, dang. Caught all of us slipping. I do not remember the icy wind on this stage being like this, but did I miss a chest? I feel like I did. Yeah, I think I may have. Yeah, I may have missed one. Yeah, because the devs trolled. Like, whoever was, like, designing the stages, they will literally put a chest. And that's one thing I will say. Like, if you, like, don't just, like, let your characters just start running. I'll probably have to redo this. Don't let your characters just start running. Because they literally put chests behind you. Like, I was like, who did that? I was like, what game engineer thought that was fun? I'm gonna put the chest behind him, and that's probably the one chest I missed too. Almost won the bet. Let's see. Nope, I didn't have a chest back here, so that means it's towards the front in the corner somewhere. You said, can you download this game? If it is in your Play Store or Apple Store, then it's accessible in your region. So if it's on there, you absolutely can download it. Let's see. There's nothing over here. Just break that. I think I'm just walking backwards now. You said no PC client? Not yet. That's supposed to be something coming soon, though. So, all right, now the emulator I'm using is LD Player, Beta 14. He said, nah, just cooking phones only. I'm not playing on phone, brother. Lonzo, that sounds like a personal gripe, brother. You said it looks like Raid. This looks like Raid to you? I mean, it has a Western appeal. I actually would say this looks more like Magic Infinite Raid, I guess. Which is a little bit more cartoony. The vibe I get from this game is a little bit more like League of Legends. Really? You said, of course, it's personal. Yeah, I get more of a League vibe with this game. Yeah, I don't really get Raid per se. Like Raid is very more on the realism side of things. And this is still like a Western appeal, but definitely a lot more cartoony, which I don't mind. I personally don't mind cartoony. There it is. Is it? No, nope. I lied. It's not there. I thought it was in the trees. Where's this chest at? Watch, when I find it, I'm gonna be so mad because it's in a corner somewhere, and I don't remember what corner it is. Yeah, it's in a corner somewhere. I'm gonna cry when I realize where it's at. It doesn't matter how much information you know. You still catch L's to the chest in this game. like, where that chest at, man? So I think I was 2. Or is it? No, it wasn't over there. Yeah, I'm getting destroyed by this chest right now. So you're surprised Chu isn't playing? I honestly, Chu be busy. I think that's really what it is. Yeah, so I'm gonna chuck it up to maybe I did find it. I don't know. What if maybe I did? Nope, I lied. I absolutely lied. We gotta do that one more time. He said it's the right amount of cartoony. It said enough to not be goofy. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's definitely like it has its I guess it kind of does have like that like a satire appeal to it somewhat, but it's not like so cartoony. I'm like, yeah, this is for little kids. Bro, chill. I'm like, maybe I'm being blind. I'm telling you, when I find it, I'm gonna cry because it's somewhere mad obvious, but I just don't see it for some reason. Because that's one chest right there. I'll let them kill that. I'm gonna go chest hunting. Yeah, it's somewhere mad obvious. There's some stages like this. There it is. Oh my god. They like blended it in with the tree. Dude, somebody's gonna end up having to make guides on every chest location. Because I was like straight up in the corner, like behind the tree. That's so funny. And what's funny about that too is that like you can't like you can, but it's just so like you can only like it's not a full 360 rotation that you can do with your camera on those. That's so funny, dude. Give me that. Ah. All right, now we're done with that. The only reason why I don't care so much though is because you need the farm, kinda, you know, in a way, doing stages a little bit over and over, so you can get some more gear. Does the auto be killing me too? Or they walk in front of the chest and not open it? Well, that's the thing. The auto isn't designed for you to have them open chests. They intentionally want you to go and do it yourself. And also too, like in the beginning of the game, your AI is actually like pretty dumb as well. There's legit a stat for AI to operate better. You said there are a few chests that only become visible when you rotate the camera. Yeah, and I'm so bad at doing that, which is the funny thing. Like I'm the dude that literally is not rotating my camera. Okay, so I think that may have been 99, 20, 20, 20. Okay, cool. Yeah, if you have a vast majority of these at about 20, that's kind of the sweet spot. We just gotta do one here. I'll give you we'll summon and see what we get, because that'll kind of determine too like what I may or may not start pushing to 5-star. Yeah, off of that. Yeah, like instinct, you'll see the word instinct pop up. That's basically your AI making a smarter decision to not stand in the middle of like a blow up radius or something like that. So instinct actually naturally goes up when you invest in the ascension of the character. So you can build it in gear, but you don't really have to. Got 2 out of. We hit Titan form. Ah, she's gonna die. Oh nope, we got it. Okay. I need her to not get. Oh, I just messed up. Actually, no, I got the chest on this one. I just need him to survive. All right. Oh, she died. Oh, she's so dead. Yo, yeah, I gotta give her some milk. She's getting cooked. Oh, you know what though? She might actually be disadvantaged here now I'm thinking about it. That's why she's getting cooked so bad. Let's see. Yeah, let me go give her some TLC. You said, how would you rate Humi's performance as a DPS better than Salissa? A little bit more consistent in terms of like her utility. No, I did the chest mission on that one already. I need to actually survive. That one's not a chest one that I need to do. A little bit more consistent when it comes down to like her utility, as far as like she has a attack break and a defense break, right? That's like really nice combo in a character's kit that's free, I guess, because with Salissa, she's good. She has that defense break, and she also has in her ult the conversion on her ability where like if the target can't be CC'd, then she gets that 26, well, at base more damage on the target. I would say the only reason why I would still pick Salissa over Humi is because she's neutral, right? I can take Salissa into everything. So she would still be my main damage dealer that I would be trying to push. That was kind of the reason why Danos, between her and Danos, are just kind of like the damage dealers to invest in if you're going to invest in any of your rares. It's just they're neutral. You can use them in anything. Outside of the locking of tower, when it comes to campaign push, you do get to campaign stages where it's like, oh, you got to win DPS, and this is a fire, stage. Yep, good luck. They about to get one tapped. Like that's a legit thing. So like even going into insane mode, some people get stuck just simply because they have attributed DPS, and the one that they're on, they may need a warder DPS to really help them push that easily, or even they might not have tanks or something like that to help with taunting. So that would be my reasoning behind still going with her. I feel like their damage is pretty close though, because really at the end of the day, even like damage wise, I think Salanth is also still pretty nutty for damage. But the problem is that like in that middle part of the game, it like bleed doesn't scale that well, not until end game. So it's like it works in some of the earlier stuff, but then you get to that middle part of the game and it just completely falls off, and then you don't really see it pick back up again until end game. That's why like certain units that are actually extremely powerful because of their specific gimmick, like Duska, for example. Duska isn't like as crazy as she was just because she's a bleed unit. If she still had or if she was still in the same type of game she was in before, where bleed was just what it was, yeah, Salanth would have been the number one pick, really, at that point. So yeah, so between the two of them, I feel like it's pretty even. The only thing I do like as well, though, with Salissa is it's kind of like her. I know some people talk about it, but it's animations, like, and not like, oh, that's cool to look at, but it's actually like her radiuses and how she hits things. She has a lot of things that like moves her back. So, like she's always flipping in the air and doing crazy stuff. Like she has a lot of stuff that like lets her kind of get out of stuff a little bit. And that's kind of why I like Danos' ult too, because he has the spin to win. So you can like use that beheading stuff, but also moving out of radiuses at the same time. Whereas like some characters, when they're ulting, they kind of get stuck in that animation. They don't move. So that's kind of like, I think those are going to end up being things that people do start to consider, especially like, certain efficiency strategies and stuff like that, depending on what it is they're trying to do. Yo, what's good, Rasta? How you doing, bro? All right, so should I summon first or should I actually level her? It's one purple star. We might as well. I'm gonna definitely use her for tower. And it might not even be so much. I might have to just take her out altogether. Because yeah, she's getting cooked pretty hard. And I need to change up some of their gear too. So okay, that's fair. I think what I might try to do. He says summon. Well, that's what I was trying to. I literally just need to get 1 star and then we're good. Because I need to summon anyway. Oh wait, wrong thing. Like looking at that, like the campaign stages. There we go. So really, we don't technically have to do that one. It can be, we can do one of the chest ones. Let's do this one. Let's do stage 1 chest. That'll be easier. And the other reason why I'm using her too is because I actually, the Titan I got for her actually fits on her, so. You say you're re-downloading the game right now? Oh, so you're actually gonna become one of us, brother? I can't believe it. I didn't think we'd see the day. Now, dude, honestly, I think this game is gonna be pretty big. I honestly, like, I feel like as long as the devs like really lock in and they, you know, just make a really fun experience, take feedback well. You know, granted, we're not gonna get everything, but I really honestly think though the biggest update is gonna be when they add the dupe exchange shop. That's gonna be the update in my opinion, because that'll allow you to really be able to build out some of these characters way easily without feeling like you're wasting mats. Look at all that. Like, she got those 2 AoEs. You said there's 15 lines of screen right now. Oh, dude, yeah, that's like, ain't gonna work. I will say though, this game doesn't, for me, it doesn't heat up my phone. So the game is pretty optimized, considering. But I also will argue it probably is more relevant to like the type of phone you have. I did not come over here. Hopefully I have enough time. Oh wait, was that the last chest? Oh no, I got them all. Never mind. I got all the chests. We can dip. We can go get our star and see what we get. Goodbye. Victory. All right, there we go. Okay, thank you. All right, let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. We got to claim everything that we've gotten up to this point. All right, we need that. We need that claim all, but it's okay. I'm gonna just start back here so I make my life easy. You said what emulator? Oh, I'm using LD Player Beta 14. Shout out to the homie Kirito. I was using Mumu before. Mumu was like actually the one that was running the game the best out of all the emulators, but they just updated LD Player with a new version, and it's running the game. Even the game's quality is a little bit better too. It runs the game really well. So yeah, LD Player 14. Let's see. So, okay, I don't think we ain't hit any crowns yet on that. We're probably gonna hit crowns though for gear up. He said emulators hate my laptop. Yeah, dude, emulators definitely, like, processing power wise, you're gonna have to, once if you're able to boot it up, you're gonna have to go in and change the setting, like your cores and all that stuff. Because yeah, emulation is quite a thing. All right, so let's see here. We're gonna see what we can get. We're gonna start with, let's start with the Fates. Let's see what the Fates got in store for us here. And we could get an epic, so okay. We got a dwarf, a dwarven Stoneheart man, Overdow the Lost King. He does stuff. He's actually not a bad character. Skill up, recovery, cooldown, combo speed down. Definitely gonna go in the water tower. All right, so let's see the next one. Okay, that works. Okay, that's pretty good. We're getting a wide range here though. I'm saying around wide range. We only done 2 summons. But different elements are always nice. Let's see. Wrath is going to be on my... Dang, I already summoned him. He's going to be on my fire, though. All right, that's cool. And then we go into the Destiny. If we can get 1 epic, that'd be cool. But there's, like, no guarantee on that. Yeah, we're probably going to have to use this dude. All right, Garnet. This is my first time getting him on a fresh account. So he's Titan Gen and Ult Gen. That might actually not be bad if I get a Titan for him though. So that's the only thing. All right, so let's see. Next one. If I get a legendary though, that would be crazy. He's a free character. This is Tome Seeker, aka Scion Storm. All right, so that's for our wind tower. Let's see. Okay, we got an epic. Oh, this is a new dude. I don't even have him on my main. Okay, so Fulric, that's right. Yeah, okay, so Fulric, that actually might low-key cook. So extended duration of 2 random buffs on. Let me see what he's at max. So okay, so he goes up to 3 random buffs on the allies. And then he has shield. Oh, that's our new sustain. So yeah, giving like shield is nice. Combo speed 40% on attack up. 15% combo speed. He has a heal. Reduces the cooldown on active skill for himself. All right, that's actually pretty good. And he has skill recovery up built in too. Yeah, that's not bad. So yeah, we're probably gonna end up using him over Drovis. Yeah. Like over Drovis. This is actually a cool looking Stoneheart too, man. I got my man over here floating. Gave him a little height. So we'll take that. We'll take that. Another free one. Don't we love it? And it's all right. So we already have the tank position filled. Yeah, that's the thing here. Okay, so we'll finish this off with the Titans because it'd be nice if we can get some we can use with our Stonehearts. All right, this is for Freeborn. All right, cool. You said thank you, get him away from me. Fork isn't bad though. This is Eldrin. There's like one rare in particular I kind of low-key want, but we'll see. We'll see if the game want to give it to me. All right, let's see. So that's for Eldrin. Ooh, okay, this Mad Guy. All right, so I will say thank you, game, for at least giving me all new ones. All right, let's go back. You said you got Galad. That's that's a go. That's a go. Wait, did you start over fresh though, Lonzo? Okay. And then do we want to do some of my? I kind of need to for LDs, so we'll do some Wild Star summons too. The other thing is too with Wild Star summons, you can pull rares from these, so I might see what I got. All right, nope. And I also need to do this anyway because I need more LDs so I can flesh those towers out. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's actually pretty good. So we got our hands. Oh, are we 7th on the Titan? Okay. Oh, and we got another summon. There we go. So yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to do it because I was like, I'm 1 away, so might as well. So she has Weaken built into her kit. Not a crazy one, but it's pretty all right. 25% damage increase, ultimate monogen, and she's ranged for water, so that's nice. We'll put her on the water tower, and we'll go grab. Dude, I'm hoping for my LD. I'm really hoping for my LD summon. I get a nice 3-star. Cause there's two in particular I have not been able to get yet. You said, yeah, you couldn't find your old account. Oh, okay, that's fair. That's fair. All right, let's see what we get here. Dude, if I get a legendary, I might cry. Never mind. This is very usable. Another wind archer. We'll throw her on wind tower. Let's see here. Yeah, we'll throw her on wind tower for now. And then we'll do the rest of these. See what light dark uncommons we get. Because I only have one light character on my entire account right now.
For someone like you.
Let's see. We got. Give me another one, bruh. I need a different one. We need Chadis. All right, let's see. Oh, nice. Okay, so we got Priscilla now. Thank you, cause I'm like, dog. We were like running into a wall for a second. Okay, cool. And then we got another wind rareborn. I haven't used her on a start yet. Ooh. Okay, so if this was AoE, this actually would have been really good. Yeah, this would have been really good because I could have used her in what you called Author. But yeah, I mean, it might be usable for now. We'll see. Okay, so we'll stop there. All right, and we'll collect everything. They keep giving me summons. They're like, don't stop. Yo, what's good, Gummy? You said your favorite League streamer. I wish. You said you found your old account? What'd you have? All right, we'll do this last summon and get out of here. Okay. Okay. Boom. Battle Rock. It's gonna be Celissa. It's gonna be Celissa. Let's see. Yo, what's good, Germ? How you doing, bro? You said did the game actually launch? No, it's in an early access open beta instead of closed now. So they basically opened the game up to America. The game is opened up to a few other countries. I think the main countries we're missing are like I think Russia. We're missing Korea, Japan, China. Like you know, more the bigger countries. A couple of other ones. I think what did they say? They actually put the list in the Discord of what countries don't have access to the game. Let me see. Dev plans. Let's go to game news. Was it dev plans? Oh yeah, I think it was. Hold on. Nope. Okay, so yeah, South Korea, Japan, Hong Kong, China, Taiwan, Russia, Indonesia, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, Myanmar, and Cambodia. And then, did I miss anything there? Belarus, I think, is another one. So yeah, those are the ones, the countries that don't have access to, or the regions that don't have access to the game, but everywhere else should. You said progress will carry over to launch, though, because the store is up for purchase. Yes, it is a non-wipe. So this is not like it was never wiped to begin with. So even when they opened up the servers to more regions, it was already non-white. So like I said, there's a guy that's been playing since May of last year. So he just hit a full year playing the game. But it's like one dude that's been playing that long. So, and that was before there was no purchasing when he was playing, which is kind of funny. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, because most people don't play games that long into the testing phase when like the game, like his experience of the game was like bare bones. Like a game didn't really have much happening. So they said PC client's coming. But yeah, they're not, this isn't like a global launch or nothing like that yet for them. So, and they've been like pretty clear on that at least. Yo, what's good, Chew? How you doing, bro? Grab that. Star that. Thank you, sir. And I think that's it. I might be able to catch this guy low key. Once I start getting into it. All right, so that wasn't too bad. All right, we now know what support we're going with. Let me just check his scaling real quick though. His shield, yeah, okay, so we need max HP on that. He said I've been losing my mind trying to hit top 300 in league. Bro, you know what's funny? I thought about you the other day when I went to the dentist. My dentist, he's apparently so this is gonna sound really funny though. So it was the first time I went to this dental office, right? And we were just kind of like casually talking, and I had like the dental hygienist. This place was like super fancy. They like did like all these like scannings of my mouth and like took 3D pictures and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. So the dental hygienist talked to me first, and then the guy that actually like does the cleaning, like the dentist that actually does the cleaning and stuff like that. So I was talking to the dental hygienist, and I was just like, hey, like, yeah, he was like asking me what I did for work and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, I do YouTube and all that stuff or whatever. And then the dentist came in, and he was like, wait, you're a YouTuber? And I was like, oh God, here we go. So now I'm sharing my channel and all our channels and all this stuff. And I told him, I was like, you know, yeah, I'm currently working with like Come To Us and a couple of other companies right now. And he was like, wait, you know who Come To Us is? Now, to give perspective here, my dentist is Korean. So he was like, oh, he was like, that's so cool. He was like, I didn't know anybody knew about that company. Like, I was like, yeah. I was like, you know, I mean, I'm a gamer, CC, so yeah, I know. But he was like, yeah, you know, he was like, I was playing like Summoner's War and all this other stuff, but he was like, I'm really a League player. And he was like, I'm super sweaty on League. And I was like, oh God. I was like, I got one guy in my community that plays League like that. And he was like, oh dude, he was like, we gotta get on there together. I was like, no, my community is in the dentist's office now. I was sitting there like, bro, I be trying to escape it, and now my dentist is telling me to hop on League. Like, what? I'm like, bro, what the heck? So yeah, that was just funny, bro. I was like, dog. He was just like, he was a cool guy though. He was a really, really cool guy, but it made me think of you because I was like, yo. He was like, yeah. He was like, I'd be sweating on League. I was like, yeah, I'm trash. He was like, no. He's like, you just got to play more. And I was like, I don't know about that. He said his time. He said Summoner's War. Bro, yeah, it was, but you know what's funny though? He was like one of those mobile gamers that like the games that he was referring to for Come To Us was like, but like before they really started pushing heavily the gachas, it was like Inocia and Zenoia and those games that were like kind of the offline ones that you could just download and play. That was like what he was referring to when I brought up Come To Us, which is kind of interesting when you think about it. It's like some of these companies weren't only just pushing gachas. They were at one point doing They were just kind of like doing like standalone offline games, and then they were doing like kind of like series of them. So like with the Zonia games, we had what, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think 5. And they would just release those as like their own standalone individual games. So yeah, that was like his reference to come to us. Whereas for me, it was like the Summoner's War and, you know, what is it? Air of Light and stuff like that. Like that, those are the games that I was like going crazy on years ago. You said League is calling. Okay, so I'll say this. I will when I get my brand new computer. I'll say that when I get my brand new computer, I'll hop on League. I'll do that for you guys. I will get on League. I'll try, because you guys said there were some new changes. I'll try again. Because it was killing me last time. I just couldn't get behind the controls. That was just it. That was really what it was. He said W. Yeah, I'll try it. I'll try it again. I don't mind. He said holy W. Bro, yo, he's like, he said he really loves League. No, okay, so like I said, I love Smite, but Smite in theory is in League are like basically the same game in a way, except League, I think League came first though. I think League came first. It's like accept your fate, Z. Play League with your community. Yeah. That's how it is. That's how it is. You said nah, play predecessor better. Oh, you said play predecessor? Like, I mean, okay, so I guess that's kind of like the I guess it's kind of like almost like the same thing with like how people feel with like Diablo, and then like you got PoE. Like I mean, I guess that is true. Like I played the mess out of Path of Exile, but I don't like PoE 1 though. I like PoE 2, but I don't like PoE 1, which is kind of interesting. So I will play Path of Exile, just not Path of Exile 1. And I have not touched Diablo yet. I think the last Diablo I played may have been like Diablo Christ, like 2, 3 maybe. Like that might have been the last one. But I know a lot of people were saying that game has kind of changed a lot. So I'm like not really too sure. And then it's also time. Like there's some games that it's just like to really get crazy good in League, you gotta have time, dude. Let me see. Do I just want to auto select this guy? I just might. I kind of want to see how good of a support he is. This early. Yeah, because attack up buff, combo speed up is kind of a little nice combo. He has a heal, shielding. I just got to get mana. I just got to build him with mana. Mana gen on him. Let's see. He doesn't need accuracy. He needs HP. And he's going to need mana gen and probably skill recovery. But we'll do HP, skill recovery, or mana gen for right now. You said we can't lose with me on your team. No, you were hard carrying us the last time we played, for sure. You absolutely were hard carrying us. I think if it was up to me, that would have been a terrible time. Like, to be honest, like it would have been. It would have been pretty bad. So I say this with like no exaggeration, that I truly thank you, because yeah, that could have been bad. Let's see here. Combo speed, HP. Let's see what chess piece we have. Accuracy, defense. I just need an HP chess piece. So activate the HP set. Where's my swords? We'll take this for now because it's 3-star. HP, skill recovery. We'll do that. Boom. He said, "Oh, is your name? Oh, your name is Asmongold with a hat." What's up, fam? He said, how long for the game to release 1.0 in Germany/EU? Timeline wise, like okay, like so we got a roadmap. The roadmap goes all the way into actually. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I think they had it in the game news tab, maybe. Or it might have been in an announcement. So let me find the roadmap real quick. Because the roadmap basically, I think, went into about December. So hold on, let me do this really quick. All right. All right. So this was the roadmap that they gave us. As you can see here. Oh, this is actually kind of cool. This is actually kind of cool. I like now I'm thinking about it. I could have been showing this. So this month was a little bit of a weird month because we had, like I said, we just got the implementation of tournaments and events, and then they were going into open beta, which was just basically opening the game up to more regions. Apparently, we've been in a closed beta, like early access this whole time. I didn't even know that, but we were. But going into August, they're going to be adding Chroma Invokers, new home screen, Tactics 2.0, and VIP Invoker Pass. September is where and I don't want to say people don't really care about August as much, but people do mainly care about what's coming in September. September is going to be clans, clan boss, accessories, boss, bounty hunt, duplicate shop, for Astral Merchant and Stardust. This is what I keep referring to when I'm talking about like the skill books and being able to like get back fodder for your characters, but then you can still use, there's going to be like a separate resource we'll have access to for skilling up. We'll get back dupes and stuff like that. Or not dupes, it's the echoes of what they're called. So you can still use them as fodder for characters. And then they're going to be adding 6-star relics and accessories. So right now, as far as gear goes, gear is it's not at its full potential just yet because we don't have accessories and we don't have 6-star gear yet. They're going to be adding more difficulties and things for the hunts. So that, of course, is going to be where we'll see that content. I'm also presuming, too, that with clans, that's probably where accessories would be because relics are in the hunts. Accessories have no place in the game yet. So with new content coming in, there would have to be something you gain from doing clan, I would say, and I'm assuming it's going to be accessories, if not another area, but the only thing that we're getting is clan, so I would assume it's going to be accessories. But you said why open beta? I can play it now. Yeah, so it is accessible if it's in your region. There's a lot of major regions that still aren't accessible for the game. So if it's in your region, you can absolutely play now. But going into October, November, we're getting another clan boss called Sedula. We're getting something called Infinity Dungeon. That's what I'm actually the most excited for. That's supposed to be like their roguelike mode that they're going to be bringing into the game. And that's also going to be where we'll probably see a lot more, like the devs, in the way that they kind of present it is like that will be a mode where it'll be days where you have to go in and use only rares, or you can only use uncommons, or you'll only be, like it's going to actually make you, have to think about using certain things on your account. And so that's going to be something that they have. I don't know the ins and outs exactly of what it's going to look like and, intervals of time and stuff like that. But that's that type of content that we're going to be getting with that. Passive skills. That's something that they're going to be adding to a lot of invokers. That's going to be its own thing. That's going to be a learning new thing for everybody when that comes into the game. And then they'll also be adding the battle pass. That'll probably end up being the thing that typically most players will buy if they're like low spending. So I would say if you got a little piggy bank, put that to the side for the battle pass. That probably more than likely would be the most efficient, cost-effective thing to buy, because most games historically, it is the battle pass, right? Clan XP and level, clan rankings, and clan shop. We're probably gonna go through a trial with the clan stuff during that first implementation of it. Once they add this stuff, though, this is probably going to be testing out rankings, seeing how people are able to clear out the shops and stuff like that. And then we have Faction Wars coming in February, January in Forge, and in March is going to be a new faction in Labyrinth. Now, they also say in the future here, it goes into PvP bounties, implants, new factions, live co-op boss 1, live PvP, live co-op boss 2, and clan wars. But this is basically going to be, relatively speaking, sometime around here is where I would say we probably might be going into a full release. But that's kind of at the discretion of when the devs announce that. Like, there's nothing officially confirming it, right? But according to how much content we're getting to the roadmap, I would think after clan stuff, maybe sometime around here, like that January, February mark, that's probably where the game will probably be more than ready for official release. Just because of the fact that clan content and having that tested, I think is pretty important. You don't want there to be a ton of players coming in and then clan content is just janky. So it'll give them time to be able to see that at least. And collect data on it and then revamp it. Because I think that's kind of the issue when you're making a game, is that you have to collect data and then you have to obviously keep what works, refine it if it needs a little refinement. If it doesn't work at all, you have to go back to a drawing board and redo it. So I'm hoping for them that clan stuff that they already have set is pretty good. So the only thing they really have to do is just like reassess and maybe recalculate some things. And so that's kind of been the experience too with like the events. The event, we're probably going to see some recalculations, maybe even like format changes and shifts, and then we'll probably go into our next rotation. Not really too sure what our gap is going to be though between chases. I'm not sure because we only got our first one, so that is that. But yeah, that's the roadmap that they've shared with us, and then it is things that are subject to change. So. It's like you got to kind of take some of this with a grain of salt, because it's like they could easily say, well, we want to move this ahead of time, or we're not ready for this. We're going to push this back to January. So that also can happen as well. But yeah, that's what they've shared so far. But I would say for me, the way I always perceive it is like if I learn the game, I invest in my account, I build up things, it's just going to make it much easier for me to help everybody else that's coming into the game later. So that's my approach as a content creator, but that's just me. So when I play now, are they reset on 1.0? No, the game continues. So you're not going to go through account reset. No. That was one of the first things I kind of had the chance to talk to not only people that have been in the community for a bit, but also the devs. Yeah, they don't want to reset players. Like, this is all non-wipe. So that's why it's like, in my opinion, I'm like, the earlier you get in, the more established your account will be. Pretty sure though that once they go to that 1.0 global launch happens, there will be your obvious typical standard stuff, global launch rewards, the global launch campaign, global launch login bonuses. Like they'll probably have all of that stuff. But that's not really it's not something to promise, I guess, until you're at global launch, really, if that makes sense. So the one thing right now is that, like I said prior to, is like a lot of stuff has changed so much even since I've been playing it. Like the new player experience has changed quite a bit. Like I said, we're experiencing events for the very first time and giving feedback on that. So I really feel like the wave of people that's playing, for the most part, we're kind of in a way kind of helping help shape the game, right? You said, I think the UI needs rework. There's always some tweaking you can do to UI, right? The one thing I always keep in mind too is that like sometimes when the version of the game that we're playing on, the devs will already be like 5 builds ahead, but it's kind of what you use these test windows for, whether it's open beta or closed beta. It's to collect data, really. So I would think, right, because like, okay, for example, like there were certain things that they started to just randomly enhance, which I was kind of confused because it was just happening out of nowhere. But like, if you go into like the shop, for example, and you look at like how the codex books look and like the way like they're going in and like trying to do all these extra touches, they're like reshaping certain things like text wise. So I think they'll probably tweak that anyway. But if you have anything in particular that you feel like is like definitely a thing that like is off-putting, you could leave feedback in the Discord. The devs do take and read all the feedback. A lot of people don't think they do, but the community is not that big, so they're literally seeing everything. So if it's feedback that you have, definitely share it, because if it helps make the game more appealing, I ain't gonna knock it. You know, like that's at least my perception. You said thanks guys for the helpful information. No, I appreciate you for asking, because I know that like there's a lot of people probably wondering that same thing too. It's like, hey, what's going on? But yeah, I would definitely say that like I'm not never gonna knock an idea, unless like there's like a clear indication or they've stated like, yeah, we ain't doing that. Hey, anything is really possible to get adjusted, I guess. You said they need UI smaller, not and not so colorful. It looks like a 3+ game UI, but the game looks cool. Yeah, well, you know what's crazy about that is that like that UI color, it really depends on who they're targeting, and I don't know 100% who they're trying to target. Because think about like games like Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact is super colorful, but it's targeting casuals. I don't know if like they're really looking to just have a whole bunch of super sweats, or do they want a much bigger casual player base? When you think about what casuals tend to care about, it's like it's stuff like color. It's like vibrancy. Why is this not bright enough? I remember when Weather and Waves came out, that was literally like one of the #1 complaint for like most casuals. They're like, this game isn't vibrant enough, and I'm like, the devs were pretty clear that they wanted to actually follow. They were inspired by like Near Automata, so they weren't really looking to try to make a super bubbly, you know, like colorful world. They were looking to try to make more of a dystopian vibed type of world where things were grayed out. You had some things that would have like its pop of color and stuff like that, but yeah, it was just a really interesting thing. And the devs ended up making a lot of decisions to like kind of conform the game to those casuals, and it ended up actually taking them completely off of their vision. And what's funny is that Weather and Waves is doing really, really well now, but it took for them to divert off of the path that they originally wanted for their vision, for them to then say, you know what, forget that, we're going right back to what we originally wanted to do. And when they made that decision, the game has been at its best since. Like it is kind of like, that's the rough thing when it comes to that. It's like the devs, like I said, are going to have to be clear on who they're trying to target, right? Like that's kind of a thing, but it's also going to then be up to us as players, like to decide, am I the target audience for this? Because that's what ends up being the, you know, the factor, or the fact of the matter is like, is this for me? Like, do I really like these types of games? Because like I'm playing this game right now that's called Element Fission. That game is literally a Pixar. The characters look like they came straight out of Disney, but the game is it's really free to play friendly. It's actually really well done, so I'm enjoying it. But I know just off of visual appeal, somebody will be like, yeah, nah, this game looks like it's Disney characters. But I grew up off of Disney, so it don't bother me none. But yeah, I mean, that's just kind of like one of those to each its own things. I will say though, like character design wise, they are in a really interesting medium though, because it's like it's like a mixture of realism, but it still has this like very it's still kind of like a cartoony vibe at the same time. Like it's not full sin realism, but it's not like the characters look like, you know, it's not like the body proportions are just all like over the place and stuff like that. And I think because they're doing this whole like elemental push where it's like this emphasis on elements, I feel like that's why they're trying to do like the vibrant colors, but it could also be another, you know, design reason. I'm not really sure, but more than likely it's audience. It's like, who are they trying to appeal, I guess. But we'll see. We shall see. But yeah, all right, so we gotta get this guy built, man. I think I'm just gonna go bulky here. I really don't have you really aren't gonna have the best of pieces this early. I just know for sure I don't want combo speed, so I just put him on full HP. And then for the chest, we'll just rock broken set for right now. And also for the legs, if we could find a skill recovery. Let's show off for the chest. Chest. Yep, we'll rock this one for now. And then for the legs, we'll rock oh, hold on, I'm missing like my other comments. You say he is mid, not really, dude. Anybody is better than Drovis Critter though. Let's be real. I mean, like I don't even need to do a run comparison. Like Drovis do not be healing. Like it's just like, oh, you're talking about Goshu. Oh, okay. I was like, hey man, we gotta get Drovis off the main team. She's fine for tower, but Medallia is you say you're trolling about Medallia? She's decent. Is it Sammy? How you doing, fam? Let's see here. Okay, so what was I looking for? Oh yeah, we're looking for some Pantalones. Run that because it's a 2-star. Turn the filter off. Okay. And then yeah, we'll run broken monogen defense. That's pretty good. All right, and then we are going to give these the good old-fashioned +10. Yeah, I'm gonna throw him on the main team. So it's kind of nice too, because it doesn't really throw off the progression by much. Because if I would have gotten a legendary, I probably wouldn't use them because it like completely throws off your push. Let's see. There we go. You said I can install it, so it's open beta is in Germany too. Okay, yeah, so you're good. Yeah. If it's in your store and you're able to install it, then you're good. So that's nice. Oh, and welcome to the community for those of you guys that are here for the first time as well. Let's see. I don't know if we're gonna go full. Yeah, might as well. You said, did you end up checking out NTE? I started it, but I didn't get to play any of like the new content, like events and stuff like that yet. But I did start. You said, is the game worth trying? So that came from the last video, by the way. Oh, you did? Oh, well, in my opinion, I think so. I've been playing free to play. I've been doing, this is now it's my third. Technically, it's my second video series doing a free-to-play push, but I've done a free-to-play push on this game, like full free-to-play push, like 3 times. With this game, I will say that, like, of course, like from when I first started till now, they've added more stuff. They're still adding stuff, so it's not perfect when we're talking about like overall, like, for example, you're not gonna be running around with legendaries, right? Like that's just not the case. You're not gonna be running around with like a billion summons on off rip. A lot of it is like fleshing out towers, using what you got, and then you start to build up currency from those things so that you can summon more and do more. Now that we have events, that's more currency added into the game for us to get. So it's like everything is getting like they're adding more things for us to have access to for resources. Like coming in September is going to be clan content, which again is going to be more resources for us to have for like month to month. So so far, if we're just talking about the ability to clear this game, it is free to play friendly. I think again, like people gauge free to play friendly on whether or not you can run around with all the 5 stars. The problem you kind of run into too is like I made this statement to somebody in game. I'm like, if you did as a fresh player, free to play had a ton of 5 stars, how would you build them? Everything is actually much cheaper. So even if you had like a ton of 5 stars, you probably only would really build one because it's just too expensive. And that makes sense just because you're early game. It's like you'll eventually get to the point where you can really flesh out and build your units. Like I'm just getting to the point where I can really build a legendary. And even then, legendary codexes, like you have to be able to perform somewhat decently in the events for that to make sense. And the minimum for that to be the case is clearing like difficulty 11, 12, I would say, on most dungeons. So with that being the case, this game does have a lot of units that are epics that are like low-key, what I call pseudo units, where they're disguised as epics, but they're really legendaries. So there's a lot of units that can get you through the game. Like one of my favorite characters in the game is actually a character named Red Riot, and I actually pulled her pretty early. And so I'd probably say like mid game I pulled her, and then she ended up becoming my character. I started using the solo into like insane campaign and stuff like that. So she was like a really cool character to get. And then like with each progression push that I've done, I've played it differently every time. New starter, different layout of units for my main team. So I never try to play it the same, just so I can see what I can really push or really get out of the game. A lot of people when they first started were playing with uncommons and pushing tower. You know, so kind of the same thing. I'm playing with uncommons now too. So you said I liked your meaning, your personality, your explanation, very simple and understandable. You got a new follower, dude. Yo, I appreciate that. No, thank you very much. You said one question. I start the game and I need to pick my first invoker: Salam, Thanos, Calyx, Malgar, or Celissa. What is your best? The best. Well, so for the new account, the best one in my opinion is Thanos. Like if like I out of the progression pushes that I've done, he felt the most seamless to me in all of the different roles that I needed to. It used to be Salanth, okay? So if you do see any, like, because I know some people, you know, people like are gonna go and look up stuff and they're gonna see old things that say Salanth was number one or is number one. She was, but they balanced bleed and burn. So bleed doesn't do the things that it used to. Bleed was actually so powerful, in fact, that it actually made no sense to build a standard damage dealer. If you got a bleed unit, your account was just broken, like period. That's just what it was. You could clear most things, if not almost everything, with just having a bleed unit. So I think just in terms of like the actual layering of the game and actually just in simple terms strategy, they balanced it out. So it is on par with regular damage towards endgame. Bleed has this weird dip where it does slightly okay in the beginning, it dips, and then it comes back up in the late game. And that's just because of boss scaling. Bleed is based off of HP, max HP. So of course, the closer you get to the latter stages, the better it's going to do. So like, even when we're thinking about like these next stages that are coming, which I think is going from 16 to 20, bleed units are probably going to be absolutely busted there for at least the stages they don't have a counter gimmick. Like Sakael has a counter gimmick, I think, for burn or bleed. And it actually empowers him too much. So you don't run bleed there, because otherwise he's going to be buff. You're just going to be basically helping him buff himself. You know, so it's like situations like that where it's like, yeah, no, but there are some contents and bosses where bleed still works perfectly fine. But yeah, I would definitely say Thanos. Thanos is for me would be the top pick. So the one with the guitar, is he good? Is it, yeah, Matesu? Matesu is out of the fusion characters, because I know, and that's actually probably a good thing to talk about. But yeah, out of the fusion characters, you'll eventually work towards this. I would say like when you're first starting, you're not probably going to be doing your fusion stuff right off rip. But maybe, I would say maybe your first like couple of weeks into like getting your account situated, you got your towers kind of going, stuff like that. So I thought you had just said Celissa was the best starter. No, you asked me about Celissa and Salanth, and I gave you a comparison between the two. Thanos is in my opinion, would be my first pick, but Celissa is also just, she's up there too. When you're looking at like historically within this game, what class type is good, it's ranged characters. She's a light range character, which you just aren't going to get many of. And then on top of that, she has other utility, like she can stun AoE, she can convert that into, if she can't stun you, she just does more damage to you. She has defense break. But Thanos and how he operates mechanically, he has a lot of things, just like with his charge, his ultimate, it allows him to really work well on like a vampire build, for example, as you're pushing. So he's able to self-sustain himself really well. So between the two, you really can't go wrong, in my opinion, because one character is built on being so far away from most things aren't going to touch her. And Thanos is like, well, if I'm going to be in the midst of it, I'm going to hit so many things. Again, with the right build, he just restores his own HP back. Granted, though, the deeper you get into the game, mob density gets so high, you are going to have to, like, you know, have, like, obviously support and stuff like that. But those little things are kind of what help you push the game in the beginning. It does make a difference. So, yeah, Celissa and Thanos they're in my top three. Salanth would be probably the third. The other two, not so much. They don't really offer anything outside of just damage, and you can get that from any of the starters, really. Because even Salanth still has resistance down in her kit. And when you're thinking about like extra value that I can have in my team, you want to have, a couple of characters that may have defense break, especially in the early days, because you don't have the proper gear or skill ups yet to where you can have 100% uptime. You know what I mean? You said I ran Vamp build on Celissa once. Yeah, Vamp build still works on her. It absolutely does. Like that's the thing too. Like it still works for her because she can keep herself alive, and then she has the luxury of most things just not touching her. Whereas like Danos kind of does need it, but when he has it, that man is over there. Like I said, spinning the wind. Like he's over there just knocking out everything. So yeah, Danos and her are like really fun to play, but they're also extremely good too. I even like, because I don't have like a light damage dealer for my tower content, I had the 6-star Danos, right? Like he's that good. So I was like, hey, gotta do what I gotta do. And I'm currently on Light Spire. I'm like, I think the highest floor I can do right now is floor 90 is the highest. And my main damage is Danos. Yep. So yeah, that's why I was like, well, hey, dude can cook. But yeah, that's kind of that, I guess. Again, Salanth for like her respective tower is still really good. Malmar is still really he's decent for his tower as well. But yeah, it's just like when you look at all the other options out of the 5, it's just like those are the ones that really make the most sense. So how do you get auto mode to work? What do you mean? How do you get auto mode to work? What issue are you having with auto mode? I think is more the question. So I keep on clicking on it, and it goes back to manual. I know if you're running something, if you click auto, it should just run it. Like hold on, unless let me see. So let's go to the battle. So yeah, it should just be a simple, just click the button and it works. Oh, you know what it is? First time clearing a stage. That's what it is. I know exactly what you're talking about. Every single first time you clear a stage, you have to turn the auto on. Yeah, they're gonna have to change that. Yeah, it is a little annoying. Once you clear the stage, though, auto stays on. It's so dumb, but yeah. I was like, wait, what do you mean it keeps turning off? Yeah, it's that. It's literally that. Once you clear it, though, it just stays on. So it's the first time of every stage, basically, you got to turn it back on. I'll let them clear the stage, I guess. That's funny. You know what's funny about that too, Jerm? I was thinking about that earlier too. I was like, yo, I like had thought when I clicked next, I like went to go do something. And I was like, oh, okay, it's going to just start autoing. And then I came back 15 minutes later, and they were just standing there. I was like, what's going on? That's funny. Yeah, it's actually, what's this, it's actually my second account, because I've done 4 pushes. So yeah, this is my second one using Celissa again. Yeah, my last progression push. Oh, dude, my last new player series, I got so freaking lucky with the epic I got. I got this epic, and that's what I mean. Like, there's some epics that they are straight a legendary. Freaking Kamfar. He is I think he's an Eldrin. Yeah, this dude right here, dog. This dude was like, and so when I got him in that series, they had just kind of give you guys a perspective. We do get updates where they're constantly adding more characters to the game. I don't think they're anywhere near adding done adding characters, because if you go through some of the factions, they don't really have a lot of characters in some factions, right? Like this is all like say for example the Stonehearts need a ton of units. Like they have like nobody really in there. Like when I first started playing, I don't even think there was a legendary Stoneheart. Like they're still adding more characters. So you might start or maybe starting now and a character just got added into the game. So some characters aren't even tested fully yet. You know, from like the new player perspective into late game. So like when the last series I did, they had just added Kamfar and I pulled him. And this dude was over here tanking. He was doing damage. I was just like, yo, what is this guy? I was like, okay. It's like he was just really, really crazy to my progression. I ran him with Danos. That was like so freaking fun. Cause it was like basically like two massive AoE abilities whenever they pop their ults going off at the same time. And his is more of like a frontward radial that has a defense break in it, but it also would allow him to give shield too. I was like, this guy is so, like, he's so good. So yeah, Kafar is definitely one of my favorite epics in the game. That would be a cheat code to get on another account, to be fair. He said, what server are you on? I think we're all on the same server. There is no like separated you know, servers as of the moment. I think we're all on the same server. So I'm on the server with people that are over in like Turkey right now. And it's cool though, because we all like, the community is pretty tight knit. Everybody kind of knows each other, at least for those of us that's been around. We all like help each other out, try to put our, you know, 2 cents in to help everybody that's coming in new. So it's a really cool community. That's why I've been playing as long as I have, with no real incentive. I've just been enjoying it and talking to the community every single day. And yeah, it's been fun. It's absolutely been fun. Let me actually go back to this. It's funny, somebody's asking, is Sodoma good? I wish this was like 4 or 5 months ago. I'd be like, Sodoma's busted. You said very cool because now I downloaded it. Yeah, welcome to the community, man. Again, if you have any questions, you can always ask me. The Discord is very helpful and knowledgeable. You might come across a couple of different people. One is Lou Bear, another guy in there, Waffles. You got Mur. There's a lot of knowledgeable people that help me get good in the game, and yeah, they're like kind of insane. Like when you really get like start getting into like your builds and stuff like that, it's it gets a little crazy, because even like the perception that a lot of newer players have, they're like, oh, I gotta have everything legendary. No, you don't. Right now, like if I showed you, like, hold on, I'll show you, right? No, there's no server. We're all on the same server. I'll show you, because I feel like when I say it, like it's like, oh, he's just saying that. Like I'm not a well, so that's just that. And I'm getting clapped by dudes certain like setups and synergies. Like there's dudes that have like epic synergies with rare titans, and they're like damn near unbeatable. Like it's kind of insane. But let me go to arena. You said, what's the best character to choose at the beginning? I think honestly the top 3. Number 1 being Danos, I think Salissa, and then Salanth. Those are the 3 that I think honestly are the ones you want to pick. But I would really pick between Danos or Salissa personally. Okay, take for example like this, right? Like you would think, okay, this is okay, yeah. So Marif is he's one of the top players in the game. And so is Zachary, right? These guys are super nuts. Like, but if you look at their characters, like, okay, he has legendaries, but he's using rare titans. He's not using legendary titans. He's using rare titans. So invested titans, and I'll say this, it's not even so much about the rarity, it's the synergy. It's what do the titans do with who they're put on, right? So think of titans almost in a way like an extra layer of gear, because it's like, I think some people are just outright thinking of them as characters. So they're like, oh, if it's not a legendary, it's not good. Not like, for example, we have a mythical, for example, that's in the game. And it's a mythical titan. And this titan is very, very good, right? But let's see. stone hearts, right? So this is the mythical titan we have in the game. So anybody would assume, well, I have a mythical titan, is gonna be busted. But when you actually read what this mythical titan does, it's all defense scale, right? It's stunned. It has a weaken, which can be good. It has attack down, so it's like defense scale debuffing, right? And then you have that deflection. This is by design intended for invoker that is more tanky, right? So like one of the top stone hearts in the game is Thao. You're not gonna really run that on Thao, to be honest. Like you can, but when you're starting to like think about like high elo or just even pushing arena, yeah, probably not. PvE, absolutely, right? Because you'll have more survivability. But in PvE or PvP, dudes are so strong that they're not even invoking after a while. Like they're not even transforming anymore. Like so now it actually is just your base character and who they're connected to and what your builds are. So yeah, like with Thao, he's all damage. Like he has nothing. Like this dude even gives himself a 50% crit rate up buff. Like he's all damage. So him being paired up with a tanky Titan isn't really, it's not really benefiting him, because you have to remember too, every Titan has a, has skills, but they also have an invocation effect when you transform out of them. So if you go to, and I mean, it can go to any of them, right? You have your bound effect. So that bound effect matters, because like with a character like Thao, you don't care about more defense on him. You care about more damage. So you have that bound effect. And then you're also going to have something called invocation end. So like, for example, here, the invocation end, when you come out of the transformation, it casts a 40% at base crit damage buff on the bound invoker lasting 10 seconds. So that's the strategy of how you're using your invokers and your titans. It's what are they allowing me to gain when I'm in the form? What are they giving me when I come out of the form? So that, for example, would be amazing on a damage dealer that's Eldrin, because now they're going to be able to scale their damage within that time frame of that transformation effect, right? So this goes up at max, it goes up to 18 seconds. 20 seconds almost of having an 80% crit damage up buff is night and day. Like when you're talking about like damage windows and stuff like that. So that's kind of the thing that you'll think about, even with the lower rarities. A lot of them have effects like that. Like this one, cast an immunity buff on a bound. One that is actually used quite a bit. Let me see. I don't think it's this one. Yeah, so like this one is kind of crazy in arena, and this is why you see people using it on certain characters. Read what this does. Removes all debuffs from the bound invoker. Cast immunity on the bound invoker, and at max it lasts for 14 seconds, protecting the target against 3 debuffs, right? So when you think about that, it's like, oh, that might not seem crazy, but in those settings, depending on what you're playing, that could be really, really busted. Like you just got debuffed to oblivion and then you just remove it all. Like, all right. So yeah, that's how you want to look at Titans. Titans, that's why I also think Titans are much harder to get, because they're not outright like characters. They're not like legendaries. Whereas like, yes, when you get a legendary, they absolutely, can be extremely night and day. But like I said, even when you get into endgame, a lot of people are still using rares, rare Titans. So I think that will help you out a lot with, just kind of understanding how you can kind of take advantage of what you have and not being scared of investing in them. Because I know a lot of the times when you come into a game new and you see a rare, you're like, yeah, I'm not finna invest in that. But it's like, in this game, it's okay. Like it is quite beneficial, considering that, again, even when you're talking about in higher elo, that those are the things that players are doing. So yeah, I just wanted to take the time to show that. I'll probably have a video talking about that a little bit more, but yeah, that's the big thing. So yeah, absolutely with characters, I feel like, yeah, there's that rarity thing you care about typically, but Titans they're not exactly the same. All right, so let's see here. I think we got Waterman leveled. We got him geared. I'm gonna throw him in a couple of dungeons to see how well he does with sustaining my team. So now I'm gonna try to push more of this campaign. Could try to 20 this one too. Or actually, we'll just go for straight survival here because we were dying. Okay. All right, so let me think about that because we'll give Bullus or we'll give it to Bullus. We're gonna still use Latria on first invocation. Yeah, I'm gonna raise that level up a little bit. But yeah, Thomas, yeah, I don't know if I answered that, but yeah, you don't pick a server. We just all get thrown into it. But this is a thing. When you're new, you don't get grouped up with in-game players. So they do have a separation. You're only gonna get grouped up with like events and stuff like that with new players. Let me see back. Yeah, so you're not gonna have to worry about running into me, for example. Not for a while at least. We'll do this. And yeah, because I think with this one, this is one of the newer Eldrin Titans. And he has cast immunity buff, protected a target from, yeah, so that's cool. We can run that. He has AoE, is that AoE stun? Yeah, AoE stun, stilling buffs, and defense down, res down. Yeah, that's pretty nice. That's actually pretty nice. Let's do this. Claim. You say you're not helping nobody. I'm just not catching you said that, kid, though. Back. Okay. Boom, boom. Take Drovis off. Throw him in. All right, let's see how their sustain looks. She actually over here dodging stuff. Yeah, I think she just oh yeah, he's healing. Oh my god, he heals so much better. Yeah, we're not gonna have to wait till Orisa, because I was like, dude, Drovis drives me nuts with her heal. But you have to be so close to her to get the heal off. Yeah, that's night and day for sustain. Nice. All right, so Fulric is gonna be good. That's crazy because he yeah, that was a little night and day there. Let's see here. Debuff resist for 4 out of 4 damage taken. Yeah, he's not really in the mix. He used 3 skill 3s, which I think that's his heal, so 1.7k. Yeah, and that was all I think to heal her, so that wasn't even healing anybody else really. And he killed 9. She only killed 5. He killed 9 characters. All right, whatever. All right, so now we can go back into our chesting. I'll keep that on. Oh wait, actually, hold on. Okay, we're good. I was like, they might be trolling me and put the chest in the beginning. Yeah, I think the only reason why I don't mind doing this grind where I go back to do like the chest completions and stuff like that is because you're actually gaining like resources from doing it. Okay. All right. I think, yeah, it's this way. It's one. All right, and yeah, we got 2 chests, so I think we need 1 more. Hope I didn't miss it. I might have missed it. Yeah, I might have missed the chest. Yeah, I think I missed it. It's probably... Yeah, I missed the chest. I gotta go back and do it again. Alright. That's fine. I'll let it complete. Yeah, I just straight missed the chest. We love that. Yep. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to... I think I might have walked by it and then turn my camera. You said, can you explain the different gear stats, like the different speeds and instinct and so forth? So instinct affects your AI. It's not really a stat that like anyone would ever really tell you to focus on, because if you focus instinct, then you basically are focusing. That means you're not focusing on a more important stat. And you get enough instinct in your ascension for you to not have to really worry so much about it on a piece of gear. If you have it as a substat, it's perfectly fine. But instinct can be like sort of it's a good stat, but also bad at the same time. Because like, for example, whenever you see a character, like say, for example, the enemy is about to hit in a certain radius, you'll see sometimes the word instinct will pop up off of the character. It's basically an instinct proc. That basically is an indication or indicator that your AI is going to step outside of that radius, so it's not hit by that specific ability. The problem with that sometimes is that like when you actually are doing that in application or in dungeons, your characters, if their instinct is too high, will legitimately just stand outside of the radius of everything. So you know how like in some games when you play, like it's like the radius is building up and up and up, but in that moment or windows, you'll still be trying to deal damage. The AI will not be doing anything if they're too far away. So if they're having to stand way too far, like say some of the bosses' radiuses are huge. If a character's AI instinct procs, they're going to stay on the outside of the radius, and if they're not near the boss, they're not going to hit them. And there's some bosses that are doing that constant. They're on a rotation. So you just end up being better off in a lot of cases building in the beginning, especially like into your bulk, into your, your ability to deal damage, making sure that you have like enough accuracy so you can land like those defense breaks so you can get things killed quicker. Versus trying to build instinct so that it can just do it on its own, because it doesn't really do it that well. Now, speed itself, like if we're talking about like skill speed versus like skill recovery versus like, let me actually do this. I'll share this with everyone because this is actually one of the best resources for it. Give me a second. So one of the nice things that the devs did is, because most games, usually the players have to figure this stuff out on their own, but the devs actually gave us, and this is just a good reference point, just in case if you like, Dang, what does Zox say during the stream? You can always refer back to this. Let me see if I can find it. To make sure. Oh. Go here. All right. Why is it not showing you on the thing anymore? Unless I'm on the wrong thing. Hit zone. Hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna look in the Discord because it's actually kind of an important resource. Boop. All right, give me 2 seconds. Yep, I found it. Okay, so this is a really, really, really good resource. And if you have any friends or anything like that that get on the game, this is a really good resource to kind of help you with just kind of giving you like reference points on like different values and stuff like that. So they do have a stat guide on here. Like that kind of goes through everything, like, you know, attack, HP damagers, all that stuff. But to answer your question though, like when you're talking about like, what's it called? You have combo speed and you have like skill speed, right? So combo speed, if we look at any character, every character has a combo. So when you build into combo speed, like if we go here, a lot of people tend to not look at it, but this is your combo attack. Combo speed affects your combo attack, okay? Now, the reason why this is important is because combo speed charges your mana faster, right? But on the flip side, you have mana gen, which mana gen basically just increases how much mana you get back per combo hit you do, for example, right? So in some cases, some characters, it's more beneficial to increase their combo speed because of the way their chain is, whereas others is better and more efficient to go for mana gen. Most characters, typically, it's mana gen skill recovery that you're usually fixated on. It's very, very few characters where you're like, I'm going to go for a combo speed investment in their build. A lot of it is more so about what's been tested and what scales, right? So certain things just don't scale that well comparatively versus going and investing in another value, right? So like investing in monogen, it scales really well, which it makes sense for you to invest in that versus like with combo speed. That also is like outright like taking away from like the for example, investing in like more damage. Like you could just be at that point just slapping more attack so you hit harder, and you can get the fight quicker versus trying to build up your ultimate more. It's just like little nuances like that. But when you're talking about like each character and who does it more efficiently, it depends on each character, right? You have movement speed. Movement speed is literally how fast they run in battle. It's a very, very simple stat. Movement speed, though, is important, and it probably will be important in other content later down the line because there's going to be things that there may be a gimmick where a boss is like one-shotting or something, and your movement speed too low, you're not getting out of the radius of something. Yeah, that might cook you. So I think that a lot of these values exist because we're going to have to do different builds. So you may have your PvE campaign push build, but then you have your PvP build, but then there may be some more unique build that you have for, content like that. It might be like a raid boss that we get where there's a phase where you need to have high movement speed so that you don't get one shot, or something like that. So usually though, I haven't really had I don't ever really hear anybody doing too many builds. I don't really even hear movement speed being made it a build, because like even in arena, like everybody's so close, you don't need movement speed. Like I was just saying before, instinct affects your AI behavior. Um, there's a, I'm trying to think, is there any other stat I'm missing? Skill recovery is like also a little bit of math you have to factor in too, because it's like, what is the base recovery rate that you're applying the skill recovery to? So there's that. Skill speed is about the, it's about the time it takes for, it's like your animations and your time it takes for you to get a skill back or use a skill. That's not really that stat doesn't scale that well. So that's why like you rather just go monogen or skill recovery, because skill speed doesn't really scale that well. So like, for example, you could have like a skill that's like 3 seconds, and then you can drop it to like 2 point something, like 2.6. So you shave like 0.4 seconds off of it. Is that a difference? Yeah, but is it like, you know, is it going to be better than like some of the other values? Like, probably not, no. And so I think it's also part two that currently with 5-star gear, that's the current scaling. This stuff could absolutely change once we get 6-star gear, right? Like, so that's that in accessories. So we're literally missing a whole tier of gear and an entire component of gear. So your builds will be your builds for now, but do expect that at some point they're just going to get better with like 6-star gear and stuff like that coming into the game. So yeah, that I would definitely say though, in the beginning, you're not going too crazy. It's either going to be skill recovery or monogen. If not, if we're just keeping it even more simple, if it's your damage dealer, attack, right? Like even going after crit builds, probably not. The only way you really would consider focusing crit builds is if you have somebody that outright can help you filter crit. Like there's some characters like Sebastian, you have Nerval. Those are like characters that, like, for example, what is Sebastian? Freeborn? So Sebastian is a game-changing unit in every regard because he has an ult that has a 40% crit rate buff and a 75% crit damage buff. At that point, build crit to your heart's content. Like, this dude is nuts. Like, he does a lot of stuff. Regen in his kit, attack up buff, and these are the base ones. But yeah, this right here, night and day ability. And so that lightens your build load by so much. And you have other characters like Nerval, for example. I think she's a Nocturna. You do end up getting her for free later down the line. But she has an unkillable revive with a 30% crit rate buff. So then that creates a slight minimal parameter for you where it's like, okay, I only got to get to 70. But you really don't get to certain values, like say trying to hit 60, 70%. You're not going to hit that until like end game. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that you have, let's go here. If you go to your Invoker and you go to your Awakening, Awakenings are a little deceiving because when you click on them, you know, it's like, oh, I just see all these nodes. But like in the first ones, it's like, oh, okay, this doesn't seem like anything crazy. But once you start getting here, there's going to be like some pretty impactful nodes. Like for certain, like say like a damage dealer, you're going to see like crit rate. You're going to see, you know, maybe more attack. Like it's going to be like really good percentages that you are going to want. That's going to lower your requirements from your gear. Even for certain tanks, like you take Skolos. Like Skolos gets a crazy amount of accuracy in his Awakenings. So that significantly lowers how much accuracy you have to build on him because he'll have so much innate in him, right? But that takes a while for you to be able to max this out completely, especially when you're first starting and trying to push. So yeah, that's its own thing, but it is one of the things that you really do get a lot of stat from once it is invested. So yeah, that is that. But yeah, that resource, best resource that I could find when I first started, and it's just a good reference point, just general information that you can just build on top of. And then like if you have a more specific question, don't be afraid to ask like me, Discord, like whoever, because like I said, it varies from unit to unit. So some units it's like very like straightforward. People are always running tests too with characters just to see like, okay, does this character want more mana gen, or do they want more skill recovery, or does skill speed work with them? You know, how much mana gen are they generating, you know, per combo rotation? Like it changes depending on the character. But I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Jesus, she's good. Oh yeah, that's why. I'm like, why is she dying so fast? It's because of Drovis. I'm like, she's literally just fainting. Let me actually check that. What is the oh that explains it too. Yep, that explains it. This weak. So weak is wind is really weak here. I guess what we'll do, we'll run Drovis here for now. I think these two, and then also him, he's doing damage as well. Should be good. You say you're trying to get the 6-star? Yo, what's good, Dragon? How you doing, fam? How's your grind been going? Like what day are you in your progression? Yeah, because depending on how long you've been playing, it might be time to make that gear shift. Or shift gears. I said gear shift. Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah. All right. I get it. I got to do Ogrim. I get it. I'll do a little bit. I get it. Okay, we'll go do Ogrim. All right. I get it. I was trying to see if it would let me do it, but it was like, no, get out of here. So you're on day 6? Oh, dude. Okay, so your first 6-star. What do you have on your account? Because the other thing is too, is like realistically, the goal is to try to build up mainly 5 stars at this point. Like at that earlier phase of your account is building up 5 stars. Unless you get like a crazy unit, I wouldn't be trying to push for a 6-star. Because like, for example, let's take Danos, for example. You could 6-star him, but if you pulled just a more competent epic or legendary, it's just gonna feels bad. And then base stat wise, those legendaries or epics typically tend to be much better anyway. So that's kind of like one of those things that you have to kind of think about. It's like, okay, what do I have access to? If it's like one of those things where you're like, no, I need a 6-star. I mean, hey, to each his own, you can. But Tower, for the most part, the goal within the first 30 days is to push to level, I think, 50, stage 50. And that doesn't require any 6-stars. That just requires 5 stars. And then from there, you'll be able to actually have more resources available that you can farm to just have an easier time doing your 6-star. That's the kind of grind, I guess. Like if you were to look at like the more efficient way of doing it, it would be that. You can technically do the pushing a 6-star, but then it takes a lot of resources away from the other things that you're trying to build too. So I'm glad I caught you for that. Because I was gonna ask for a whole video on it, so it helps a lot. Cheer. No, I appreciate you for stopping by, Nathan. You take it easy. You sound level 15, chapter 6 mission. It's at page 10. Yeah, that sounds about right. Because I think I'm only on like 11. Yeah, I'm only on 11, and I'm not that many levels higher than you, to be fair. So that sounds about right. So yeah, it's like yeah, like my first 6-star, like. It's a little bit of a window. You said you have Kalodon and 8 epics. What 8 epics do you have? So Kalodon he's good at like campaign pushing and Spire. He's not good for bossing, which is the reason why most people will probably tell you not to 6-star him, because he can push content pretty well. Like he's still a pretty strong unit. It's that he's not good at bossing, and it's because everything in his kit is made for like he's made to be running into mobs. Like he's not made for isolated or concentrated damage into a boss. So you might like if you have like a Alex Sku or I mean it really all depends on who you have. There's some pretty powerful epics that would be worth, you know, your first 6-star too. But I think I would still say that for him to be on your account, that's still worth at least, you know, him being level 50 5-star, right? Because you already a nat 5. He would still be worth that at least. But 6-starring, he was, and you know why I'm saying this is because I got him as one of my first legendaries. And I still have yet to do anything with him. Like I was just like, all right, well, I got him to level 50, used him for what he was worth. And actually, to add insult to injury, I pulled him twice. so I was like, all right, well, there's that. So I'm like, you know, there could be some area later down the line, like with faction content. That actually will probably be where that like really pays off later, when faction content comes into play, because then I'll just have 2 busted Rhino dudes running around at that point if I choose to build them. But yeah, as of right now, yeah, that sucked. It did. I was like, man, I was like, this is not it. So let's see here. We're going to redo these with the heals. Take you out, here. And that's good. So let's run it. Wait, you said, hold on, let me see what you said, Kirito. You said you just pulled your 3rd Epic Titan? Congrats on that, because as you can see, and that's why I don't mind doing this type of stuff, because if I can progress with like almost nothing, you can make anything work. I think when I was doing my main account, like that was the funniest thing. When I first started my main account, I was over there running around with Reki, and that's a whole uncommon. I definitely think I probably put a little bit too much value into her, though. I definitely was like, I took her to 6-star and everything for no reason. Just for me to not use her anymore. Like, I literally do nothing with her. And all it is just uncommon scaling, really, is what it is. Is that you were hyping her up? Because she really is good for beginner progression. Like for Dark Tower, where you don't have the ability to like really push a lot of stuff, she's actually really good. Early PvP, she's actually not bad. But it's just the scaling, man. It's like, once you get past, I say she probably gonna take you to 50, which at that point could have just left her at 5-star, right? Okay, yeah, 127, not bad. That's better than 258. Thank you. And we'll go next stage. You know what? I need to make sure I do my arena on my main account too. Dude, it's like so, like doing these hits is like pain. Let's see. That's not too bad. So this stage 4 cooking. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make some videos soon about these gimmicks for people. You say you have, yo, what's good, Rory? It's like a plug stream in the official Discord, Zox. Oh yeah, you know what? I didn't even think about doing that. That was my bad. I was like, I shared it on Discord. It was my own Discord. I shared it. Nope, wrong Discord. Yo, what's up, Missile? How you doing, bro? Hope you're having a good day too, Rory. Appreciate you for stopping by. Let's see. This one's gonna be a lot slower. 2 minutes is not bad though. Oh wait, actually no, I'm kind of getting cooked because they're having a hard time getting rid of the stones here. So I gotta refine it. Okay, I shared it again in the Discord. It's not much, man. How you doing today? Not too bad, bro. I've been streaming for a little bit already, so I know I'm probably gonna be getting off here soon-ish. Just trying to get this new player stuff done for the day, and then I know we're gonna meet up. I don't know if we're gonna go into our Discord or official Discord or the community Discord. But yeah, we definitely can meet up for a little bit. Yesterday was crazy, bro. As soon as I ended my stream, my freaking sister called me and I talked to her for like 2 hours. I was like, bruh. But you had messaged me like, bro, I'm going to sleep. I was like, dang. And then I think Kirito ended up going to sleep too. I was like, all right, well. All right, there you go. So about 3 minutes, not bad. Guess I wake up like 4 to 5 a.m. My bad. No, it wasn't an issue, bro. It wasn't an issue at all. No, you're good. No, it was not an issue. Don't we love that? HP and defense percent on attack set. All right. So who was throwing down damage? Okay, yeah, Humi was over there doing a little something. He's still, you know, it was a little longer fight. So, okay, cool. Got that. Boom. All right, so with all of those summons that we did, we kind of now can lock down some of these dudes. 40. Definitely gonna do your first awakening. And that's another thing too. Like in the beginning, like, dude, like, I know, hey, man, we'll give you some legendaries, but good luck building them. Because everything is like double. Like I think like for your first awakening, it's like literally double when you go to an epic. So legendary is crazy. You saw we getting 20 crowns still already happened. I think that already happened. And if I'm not mistaken, I have to double check. I think that was for those that participated in that summon rush, because it was miscalculating. And so I guess it kind of makes sense that they did that for that. But at this point anyway, unless you're going to be doing like, unless you're going to be like legitimately trying to hit #1 in every local, which realistically, I'm gonna be honest, as a new player, is if you're free to play, it's not feasible, because you have to be able to farm at a certain difficulty for the points to actually make sense to your drop rate and the stage that you're doing. And I would say the drop rate and the stamina you're spending, not the stage you're doing. But that, of course, is then affected by the allocation via the stage. So yeah, it's possible, but for free to play, I don't think so. Like I don't think it's possible at the current point. He said I'm at 120. He said game needs promo codes. They'll probably start doing more promo codes when they're ready to like promote the game more. I don't think they seem to like be trying to keep things fairly small. So I think once they feel like they're probably gonna be doing like more like a creator push and stuff like that, they'll probably start pushing more coupon codes and stuff like that too. Cause yeah, I love coupon codes. That's like one of the things like with Star Sailors. Every video I make, I got a coupon code. I ain't even gonna lie. You said, dude, the #1 player, my new player event has like 300k points. Do some of the legendary Titan already. Yeah, Missile, that's probably a spender. There's a high chance that's a suspender. Very low chance that's a free to play. If it is a free to play, actually, no, it's not even possible. That's not even possible yet, because if he's brand new, you don't even have access to a divine orb yet. Like, that's not even possible. So he has to be a spender. Yeah, and then 300K is not just the points that are allocated on the thing. Yeah, he definitely spent for sure. You said I spent 25, and I got like 40K points. So yeah, he's spending. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, if you summon your first legendary, right? That first legendary should be, I thought it was like 70K. Am I trolling? Or was it 40K? It might have been 40. No, 50K. Yeah, so your first legendary is 50K. So legendary Titan on top of that is another 50K. Now I know in my tourney right now, like the guy, he got 158. So it's like, could I catch up? It is possible. If I really honestly play my cards right, it's possible. If he gets a little tired, yeah, he might have gotten a mythical Titan too. It's possible. It's a very low chance, but it could have happened. I will say, like, gearing up and like doing certain things right now too is giving like a ton of points. Like, there are certain event, or really just honestly certain things you do that just give you mad points. Like, I got a vast majority of my points from gearing. Like, that's really where a lot of my points were coming from. And then I just did a little bit of summoning, but nothing too crazy though. Just enough to kind of like flesh up my account. Let's see. That's for my gear thing. I'll collect that later. We'll collect that. You say you spent 10? That's not bad. You said I was first in that event. Yeah, that's in the new player event. Yeah, 10 bucks is not bad. Like I said, once they add the battle pass, I think that's where most low spenders are. That's probably going to end up being the most efficient thing to buy. We don't even have the battle pass in the game yet. He said, you got a pretty good starter epic hero. Oh, yeah, this guy, yeah, forward. Yeah, he's very good. Yeah, very, very good for sustain. So I'm gonna work on him. Like I said, my last one, I got Kunfar. And Kunfar he is a, like dude's like, don't get me wrong, Ball is, he's good, right? He's a really, really good rare. But if you get Kunfar, you immediately throw him in a trash can. Like that's like that's how much better Kunfar is. Like, cause Kunfar doing damage, he over there, like, I'm just like, why is he like this? You can build him like a regular tank, because you got to remember a lot of his damage, a little bit of accuracy doesn't hurt on him too, because his damage is dot. So he's tanking and he's also dealing damage off of his burns. So Kunfar is like, he's one of the best tanks in the game. The only reason why I don't think he's a top tier tank is because he doesn't have what's it called, taunt. If they would have gave that dude taunt, oh my bro, Kunfar would be running through the game. Like, he been running through the game, just going crazy. I like, bro, yeah, he has no CC, no taunt. Like, yeah, that would have been crazy on him. So for him to be as good as he is without it, it's like that says a lot. He was such a fun character to run with my Danos. Him and Danos together, really, really good combo. You say, yeah, he's a Shadow Senia tank. Yeah, that's like, and that's the thing, like, too, like, you have some characters that like cut against the grain. So even with the adjustments to things like burn and dot, one character that does not care, like, the homie, shout out to Waffle, man. Waffle is like literally one of the longest players in the game, and dog, his Brandis, I think Brandis is a light seeker, bro. Brandis don't care. She don't care about none of that adjustment stuff they did. She does not care. If you got a Brandis dude, that's a really, really good character. She doesn't care. She's just like, nope, you're eating these burns, and I'm gonna keep on adding them, and I'm gonna keep on adding them, and I'm gonna keep on adding. Like, I didn't even realize a character could put that many burns on a character until I had did an account takeover on his account, and I was helping him out with a piece of content. And he was literally fighting an attribute disadvantaged boss as the main damage dealer. And I was like, yo, what the heck? I was like, she don't care. Like, and I was like, hey, it is what it is. I was like, so yeah, you got some characters that's just like that. Of course, like when you start looking at LDs, you got like Virtus. who's super busted. You know, so you said Brandis has burns and everything. Yeah, she literally like she's so dumb. Like I was like, who? Like what is this? So yeah, her combos has burns. Like they're just like she's gonna be a mega daughter basically. So yeah, Brandis doesn't care. And when I seen that in application, I was like, okay. So I'm really interested to see what her passive is gonna be because that yeah, she's a crazy character. That was when I first started. She was a character I really wanted because that's when Dot was like super predominant. But yeah, I mean, dude, she's one of those characters. So you just have a few characters that's just like that. Like they just don't care. So even Comfar is like it's like he's a tank, but he could do damage too. He said Kuros and Fernos seem cool. Yeah, they're pretty good. He said I can't wait for my second Lego. Yeah, my summons, my legendary order was Kalodun. I summoned him twice in a row. Gladstone. That's when my luck started to pick up a little bit. I got Gladstone. Then I got what's her name? I got Sebastian. I think it was Sebastian. Yeah, Sebastian. Then I pulled what's her name? Revizia. I pulled Revizia. I got lucky because that was before my spark. I pulled her early, and so that kind of helped my fire tower. And then after her, I pulled who did I pull afterwards? It was I think it was Thao. Yeah, that was when my account changed. When I got Thao, that's when my damage period across like everything changed. Thao's Stoneheart. He's one of the strongest units in the game. One of, not the, but he is one of. When I got Thao, that was that. That was all she wrote. Thao started blowing up stuff for me. And then after that, I got I think it was Tassia was something I just did recently. So yeah, then it was Tassia, which Tassia is freeborn, and she is literally one of, if not the best support in the game. When it comes down to like sustain and all that jazz, she has great debuffs too. But when you look at her her ultimate, she at level 7 unlocks the ability to revive as well. She's night and day at that point too. So I ended up getting Tassia, and then I did the fusion for Matesu. Dude, hey, they must have hit a button because that was, dude, I got Tassia at 109. I hit pity. Like that was 190 to get her. Like that straight up between like my destiny. Like that was like, yeah, that was painful. That was all the free to play grind I could handle. I was like, dude, if I get thrashed on this 190 right now, I'm gonna cry. And it ended up being her, and I was like, okay. And then I did the Matesu fusion, used that for points, and then once this event ends, I'll have Tyrannus, which within a 3-week window, I'll have gotten 3 legendaries. But I waited a while. You said, hope I get Tyrannus. You said stuck at 120. So I'm currently at 120 on my main as well. You should be able to finish just purely off of, like, I'm skipping Titan Summon Surge. I'm only doing 1 rotation of Arena Rush. I think I did this Gear Up rotation. Hold on. So let me see. Yeah, so I'm at 120 myself. Yeah, Crest Hunt is going to be one that I have to finish. That'll put me at 130. Nissy would be 140. Doing 1 rotation of Arena Rush puts me at 150. Althar finishing is 160. And then Ogrim puts me at 170. So that's that. So yeah, I don't technically need to do Titan or Titan power up or Titan summon surge. So I'm gonna save for the next chase. Yeah, I'm gonna save for the next chase. You said they need to buff Growlman's. You say he's way too low for a legendary. Wait, what's way too low on him? Are you talking about are you talking about his tier or are you talking about a specific stat? You said you have 110. Yeah, at 110, you like it's a lot of different things you could do. You could try to at least get one local and then finish out all the regular events, and then you should be fine. It just really depends on like what group you get into. A little bit of a, I guess, strat you can use. What a lot of people are doing is they're waiting until they're not starting the event as soon as it starts. They're waiting until people get placed and they try to jump into it. They try to jump into a group last second. So you can do something like that to try to have a higher chance of winning a local because it's going to place you, based off of when you started. So if like, it's going to be a little bit different though on a fresher account because you're only going to be matched up with newer players. So I feel like your chances just kind of depend on if you get matched up with a random well. Whereas like when you're in our position of endgame, there's those guys that are super impatient that's going to just do it off rip. But for those of us that are playing a little bit more intricately, we're waiting. So like some of the events, I didn't start the first day. I waited till the last day to do it. And that allowed me to get a better local group. I actually had a local group. I almost won. And the last hour, I fell asleep. And I was going to put up a couple of more points so that I could keep my gap. And I got sniped in that last like 30 minutes before the event closed. And I was so mad. I was like, dude, like, yeah, that was fun. You said Tassia is great. You can use her in different ways. Some might want to go Res Mana / Reviver. Some might want to go actual CC. So you split the 350 to 350 with 60% mana, 50 plus percent skill recovery. I can see that too because she has so much in her kit. And and I guess that also varies too, like based off of like what you may be able to invest into her like skill up wise. Cause like if you don't have the ability to take her to 7 right off rip, it might be better to build her the other way, one way over the other. Because yeah, I feel like as soon as like you get that revive, like now you have so much accessibility to kind of dictate what you want to really do with her. So I need that Invoker Summon quest. So I miss 3.5k points, but hope I can do that. So I'm gonna be honest. I think there's another Invoker Summon Surge coming, personally, right? Reason being is because how can I put it? You said when did this game come out and should I get into it? It's an early access right now. Yeah, like what Thomas said. Yeah, it's early access. They just opened up the open beta for it, so it's in more regions. I would say hop in now and see if you like it. I mean, the game is evolving. They're adding more stuff to it. So I personally started, and that's why like my account is the way it is. I started so many months ago. It's now I'm like able to kind of enjoy the in-game stuff. Like when the events came, I was amongst the first wave of people that was actually able to really fully enjoy them because I already did all the new player nuance stuff. Like even with tower, like my tower floors, like I'm going into the upper 90s and stuff like that now. So I feel like if you really just want to be a part of the crowd that just gets that out of the way, and then you can just enjoy the things that are being implemented as they're coming in. I would say that's how I look at it. It's like, hey, let me get in this now. So that build up phase, I'm already past that and I could just be enjoying the game, global release, none of my stuff wipes. So new content comes out, I'm just able to jump right in and play it. New unit comes out, I can just build them now, wherever it may be. The chases, I'm already in the cycle of starting to save, so I can like start actually going after the stuff I want. I don't have to build my account up first. So that's how I look at it. It's like, let me get this part of the process out of the way because you got to do it no matter what. But yeah, you said, but yeah, for the Invoker Summon, you said how old is your main account months wise? Like 7-8 months. Like, yeah, it's around that now. 7-8 months. So yeah, that's like a lot of changes have happened since then, but that amount of time accumulative playing, like, this is like one of the games I legitimately play every single day. So from the moment I started covering the game, I basically kept playing. And like little things that add up, like for example, doing the bonus quests with like, for example, that's 200 extra energy per day, 1,400 energy per week. So you add that up over time, like that adds up. Plus, not including the areas where here's another 50 energy, here's another, you logged in because it's the weekend, here's another 100 energy here, here's, that stuff all adds up. The only area I just recently climbed on, and it was just because I wasn't doing it that much, was Arena. So Arena, I missed out on a lot of resources from that because I just wasn't doing it as actively. And so now I'm getting a ton more value on my account because there's the trophy farm and then also the shop, buying out the stuff in the shop, you know. It's so progress isn't wiped. That's cool. Yeah, none of it's wiped. And yeah, you get to just keep everything. You get to keep everything. So is it better to wait on Arena so you can grind the Arena events at low tier? I'm gonna be honest, that's what I did, Missile. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I waited on everything. I waited on the fusion. I waited on like anything that could have been possible points. When they said, hey, events are coming soon, I was like, oh, word, bet. I ain't using nothing. Now, granted, some people are like, oh, I want that now. I need to progress now. And it's, I mean, yeah, it absolutely could, you know, it could have worked for their account. But the way I perceived it was like, man, that could be, okay, so okay, you look at this one unit, right? Let's say you're starting from scratch. And this is for anyone, like Missile, I know gets this. But let's say you're starting from scratch, right? Every single character needs to be leveled up to 40. They need to be 4-star. And they also need to have their ascension up to 3. That is all points. That is all points. That's all points. Like every last bit of that is points. So then you fuse them. Then you go to 50 on the epics and 4-star. That's all points. That's all points. Then you get Matetsu, you level him, that's all points. Every part of this is points. So when I seen that, I was like, I was like, dang, I really want to do this fusion right now. But that's a lot of potential points. Now, what was interesting though was we didn't know at the time what kind of events we were going to get, because the devs have been really clear that they're inspired by like Summoner's War and Raid, right? So we didn't know if we were going to get Summoner's War events or if we were going to get Raid, you know, Watcher of Realms style events. So I was just like, dang, it's better safe than sorry, and so that's why I waited. Arena. To give you perspective, I had almost 200 tokens I was sitting on for Arena. You said, yeah, and that was just simply like, for me, it's like passive farming and just playing in general. I had so much EXP, like I was able to do it, but it was still pricey, right? Like it was, like I said, even the wild stars, like, excuse me, the summit event, I was just stacking wild stars because I knew I wasn't gonna have legendary summons and epic summons even to really go crazy. And I finished the summon event with literally the green summons. But the thing is a lot of people, they were kind of frantic about it because they were like, oh, this isn't the base points. And I'm like, no, with the 2 times, everything is double, right? So a lot of people they just weren't doing the math. But when you look at the chase and you go to like the Invoker summon, where is it at? And summon Surge, right? This seems bad at first because it's like, oh man, a wild star only get 1 point. Then if it's a common, it's 1 point. That's 2 points, right? But if it's an uncommon, it's 3 points. And then if it's a light dark, that's 11 points, right? But with the 2 times active, that one summon now turns into 22 points or 22 points, right? So that's why I said for free to play, that 2x is literally godsend. If we didn't have it, we'd be cooked. It would actually cause you to need more. But using that 2x basically doubled everything that we needed. And there was a bug that was even happening during that. So it was actually calculating stuff incorrectly if you were doing multis. So they ended up giving us the crowns anyway. So we got kind of lucky on that. But yeah, like that was like what really changed how many points you got. Now, if you did this without the 2x, then you're having to do more. You would have to. So it took me, like I said, about 2.7K wild stars to do the chase. If you weren't doing it on the 2x, that would have been a much larger number. It would be like almost double, if not double. So yeah, that was kind of like one of those things where I was like, you know, yeah, you can build up that many wild stars, but how long does that take? That was like, for me, that was like a good amount of time, at least a few months of just not even using them. And a lot of times you only ever really with wild stars, once your account is stabilized, the only time you really use wild stars is like to do your daily, because you'll never use your destiny star, radiant star, divine stars for daily. If it's going to ask you to summon every day and you just do one wild star summon and you dip, that's it. So yeah, it's its own process. But yeah, to your point, that's what I did. I did everything in that fashion. I was like, yep, I'm waiting. And it ended up paying off. It definitely ended up paying off. All right, so we gotta do this a little bit so I can actually awaken him at least once. What, 40 seconds? We got a week and 4 hours on that, so. But yeah, man, that was like you said, exploits. Yeah, it was bugged. It wasn't like we weren't actually getting more points. We were actually getting less points. So technically, I should have probably used a little bit less on summons. But I think that's what I was saying. Now I think there is gonna be another summon rush. Now hear my logic. I haven't been wrong yet, by the way, but logically, right? When you think about when you think about gacha games and when you think about these types of games and how they do these events, they kind of want you to summon, right? Now, the total accumulated amount of crowns you get is a stack of 20 crowns for the Invoker Summon Surge, right? Now, in 3 weeks, think about it, and I'm thinking about this from just a spender perspective. In 3 weeks, there's only one summon event. That doesn't sound like a gacha game. Like, it just doesn't sound like one. I was like, that doesn't even make sense. I like only one. Nope, doesn't make sense. I'm almost willing to put money on it. Like, hey, there's gonna be some more summoning happening. And the reason why I kind of rationalize it that way is because it's like, well, if somebody comes in a little later and they want to finish it out, and that big chunk of crowns, they don't have more than one opportunity to finish it, that would be a little odd for anybody that came a little bit later, you know? So I think the only thing that seemed to be very tight was, and very specific, was the Titan Summon Surge. And that, I think, lasted for 4 days, which is a little odd to me, because I was like, everything else was 3 days, but Titan Summon is 4. So with that being said, I was like, yeah, they're probably not running that again. And their bread and butter for what they make the hardest to get is what's it called? Titans. So getting Titan orbs and stuff like that, yeah. That's why I am glad that like rares are very viable, like just as viable as a lot of legendaries, because yeah, if they were just like the characters, it would be very far and few. You said who developed this game? What are they called? I know they do stuff with VA Games and Hit Zone, I think is the name of the company. I think VA might be a publisher, maybe. Yeah, I think VA Games is a publisher if I'm not mistaken. I'm not really too familiar with VA games. I've never, not until recently when I started to like go on my own journey of like building my own game and doing all that stuff did I really find out who they were. Um, yeah, they're a pretty big company though that they're like putting a lot of funding into game like new game development and stuff like that. So I found out about them on like LinkedIn, but Hit Zone I'm not really too familiar with at all. Let's see here. But yeah, to my knowledge though, the team is like it's a small team or a smaller team. I don't like I don't know what the comparison is, but but small team like that could be. I'm assuming it would probably no more than like 10 to 20 people. Possibly it is possible, right? But first even looking at it from that perspective is like I'm like, hey, whatever the small team is a pretty good team of people because from the designs of characters, the quality overall, the fact that mechanically the game just works, they're good at what they're doing. So yeah, I remember you're making your own game. How's that coming along? So next week, it's pretty big. I've been like, so one thing that's been kind of holding up the process is just the fact that the art studio that I'm going to be partnering with, they had other projects that they had to kind of like tie up. So I was just kind of playing the waiting game with that. Really wasn't anything more than that. But I have my first meeting outside of the very first meeting I had with not only them, but the art director of the company. And so we're going to be like just mapping out what we're going to be doing, how we're going to be doing it, picking the art style. I'll probably be making a video for that too. So I'm actually pretty excited. I'm pretty excited about that part of the process. As far as like prototype and all that, I know that's going to be something that we're going to be finishing pretty soon though. I say probably like in the next couple of months, we'll be getting that situated. We got like the hub for like, and we'll probably be sharing that at some point, like the hub for like where the game is going to, like information for the game is just going to exist. Workflows are like pretty streamlined at this point. So yeah, we're coming along pretty well considering that right now, like the core team is 4 of us. We got music composition happening right now, which that like the music is sounding so good. I'm actually really excited about the music part. I think out of everything, the music so far has been the most exciting thing that I've been able to see, just because that's something that like we've visibly been able to see evolve. The art is going to be the next thing that we're really going to start seeing evolve. So that then seeing we are going with a 3D format. It's pretty required for the type of game that we're making. We kind of need to do 3D, and having BOSI Studios doing that for us, it's basically as good of a quality as gonna get for an indie studio, really, right? And it's not, and I'm not saying that lightly. Like they've done 3D rigging and stuff like that for games like New World and Marvel Strike Force, and they've done stuff with like they've done stuff with like almost any company you could think of, Lilith, Tencent. They've done either some concept art rigging, character design, like you name it, they've done it. So, yeah, I gotta definitely shout out Austin for that, man, because he's the main reason why we're able to, we're able to honestly have certain connections. Cause, yeah, and what makes this even more of a fun process and even a blessing, in my opinion, is that a lot of people are from my community. Right, like these aren't like some random people I just went out and found. They're guys that have been mods in the Discord. Like the guys on the team, 2 of them both modded in my Discord. Like, which is like, and you just like, and I've known these guys now for Caladria I've known for going on like a year and a half, and EXO I've known for like 3-4 years almost. And I never knew that Caladria was a gaming programmer. Like I just never knew. I never knew he did that type of stuff. And he's just been in my Discord modding. And when it came up that I was doing this process, he was just like, hey man, like I can, I really want to help and join the project. And so we had those meetings and like really figured out what we collectively could do together. And I just feel like he sees eye to eye on a lot of stuff that I'm trying to accomplish, why I'm doing it, how I want to do it, and stuff like that. And he's also successfully shipped his own games. I think he's actually releasing his own game. I'm going to share that in the community as well. And it's actually really good. It's actually like it's like a tower defense too. It's not a gacha, but it's a really, really well done game. So it's like really cool to see that there's like that level of talent in the community. And, from engineers to CPAs to even down to voice actors, there's a ton of people that are going to be doing VAing for free, which is just crazy to me. I didn't think anybody was going to even offer. I wasn't even looking for VAs at this point in the process. And I had a few people that reached out and it was like, hey, as soon as voice actor opens up, I'm a VA. And these are like people now that like, they've gone on and they're doing stuff with like HSR and Genshin Impact and Weather and Waves. But I met them so many years ago. Some of them remember me, I guess, and they're just like, hey, I remember you did this for me. I'll help you out with this project or whatever. So yeah, it's pretty cool. You said, of course, I'm an app developer looking for new ideas and projects. If anything, if you ever have some sort of problem or a shortcut that you want to create, I can help. Oh, dude, listen, definitely hit me up on Discord. I always try to work something out to where it makes sense, where you're getting some value from it. I'm not really the type that's like, hey, you can just do everything for free. Like, yeah, no, I really do try to have some incentive or value to offer. But I do appreciate it though. So yeah, like for sure, absolutely reach out. I definitely would love to connect, man. I'm definitely always open to that. You said I know you want to hire me as a VA. I want to be a ghetto dwarf. Why do you want to be a ghetto dwarf though? Like, why couldn't you just be a dwarf? Like, bro, and you know what's funny though? There's a few people in the community I'm like absolutely have to VA. They absolutely like one of the homies, Lonzo knows, and probably Kirito knows who this guy is, but his name is Tsuchikage. He does stream too. This man has like he has like the voice of God. Like I don't like. I was like, I have to get him on a character. I have to get him on a character, dude. So yeah, I was like, yeah, there's a lot of talent in the community. And I think that would be the coolest thing. That was what I used to do with Dislight though. I got so many people, got their music in the game. A lot of music artists, I got their music in the game. And that was like such a cool thing to see. It said if I was going to light spin this game, he said, what would be the best packs to look at? I have to look at them because I know that as a new player, those are probably going to be the best packs you're going to get, if I'm being honest. They're like by far the cheapest. Yeah, it's like those efficient packs, like the early game ones. The early game ones are crazy good. Yeah, when you start looking at the other ones, I'll be like, I might just wait. A lot of people are thinking though that pricing with certain things are gonna change by time global launch happens because of localizing. But yeah, I mean like that's the other thing too. I had to think about was like this game was like pretty region locked before, so I would suspect that certain things price wise are gonna probably change. They'll probably have more efficient packs and stuff like that coming into the game as well. So the value would be I wouldn't be would be learning, so I wouldn't be interested in no money and no worries at all. So as long as I can rack my brain, all good. Hey, listen, listen, I'm always open to it, man. So yeah, definitely hit me up, man. Um, yeah, because like I mean that's kind of like one of the guys on the team, EXO. Like this dude is just amazing mind, and you can't give him anything. He doesn't want anything. I'm just like, does he need it? Is the other question. Probably not, but that's just how he is. But we've been friends for such a long time, man. And that's kind of one of the interesting things with our dynamic is like, I very much so, I'm super hands-on, but I'm also a visionary at the same time. Because there's some people that's like, oh, I'm a visionary. Everybody else needs to do, like, nope, I'm doing stuff. Like, I'm actually doing storyboarding and basically mood boarding. I'm doing all the pitching. I'm doing all the legal stuff. I'm very, very hands-on. Even like when it comes to a lot of like creative directing at this point, what characters end up looking like, all that stuff. I'm basically like, I actually even did a lot of concept art for the game, which you know, like it's a little different when you know you got that person that's just pointing a finger saying, "Hey, do these things," versus like you're actually involved in the process. There was you know, the only things I really didn't touch were like music. I can't make a good composition to save my life, you know. So that's just something that I just wasn't gonna do. And the homie Alan is doing music for the game, and dude has his PhD in music composition. So hey, I can't argue with him. Like sound engineer, he's in sound engineering as well. So like, yeah, like you got people like that joining the project. We got the art studio. I like, yeah, I'm just hoping we can really make a really fun game and something that really just, you know, it just really brings that enjoyment back to the community, just gaming, man. Like that's really what I'm hoping comes out of it all. And yeah, you know, if we make some money, that would be cool too. But the real reason why I'm doing it is because of my community. That's really why. He said, so that's good to hear. He said the more people are hands-on, usually the better it turns out. Yeah, that's the thing is like we decided that amongst us, we were going to try to do as many things as we possibly can, because that's the thing, unfortunately, like if you don't have the on-hand capital to really make it make sense, and even when you do, when there's too many chiefs, like projects can get out of hand so quick. Expectations can be just out of scope. Like, you know, like it's really easy to define and execute, I would even say, a specific task when it's just, you know, you don't have too many hands in the pot trying to stir. It is very easy at that point. So yeah, I think that's what we all like. Our skill sets are pretty vast. They're very vast actually. So yeah, we're just trucking it along, and we're enjoying the process too. Like, so it's no big like real big rush, because we don't have anyone that's like over our heads like, hey, you got to finish this in this timeline. Of course we do have our own personal timeline we would like to have certain things done by, but yeah, we're not answering to anyone. So that's also one of those things that's kind of nice too. Let's see here. So I think this would be good. This puts us at about 14. We'll take that. This is the beauty of building an epic. Dude, I would hate playing this game as a brand new player with like a team of legendaries. Oh my God, I would hate that. Because first of all, that resource grind would just to do your first stars. Nope. Nope, I'm not doing that. Let me build up my account first. He said, yo, what's good, miss? How you doing, fam? It has been a while. How's everything been? It's been a long time, actually. You said, yeah, I agree entirely. A good team is probably the most important part of it. Yeah, we talk regularly. We all get along. We like I said, we half the time we'll be doing stuff and we'd be cracking jokes and laughing and the whole time. But we're also like, we do get stuff done too. So we're still like productive at the same time. So, all right, cool. Let's see. So you ever heard of Chris Metzen? No, who is that? All right, there we go. Give me those base stats. All right, there we go. 1.6, 1 point. Okay, we're using you. Okay. Level 6. So I think last time I talked to you, you injured your foot. Oh God, yeah, that's when I twisted my toenail. Like straight up, like thought I broke my foot. But yeah, that was like the worst. I didn't even think that could be like a severe toe injury, but I had to go see a podiatrist about that. Yeah, yeah, that was a long time ago, dude. I had to go sit down somewhere. Yeah, I've healed completely from that. Yeah, that's crazy though. That was the last time. Yeah, that's crazy. That was the last time. Yeah, I was definitely super hurt. That's for sure. I'm trying to think with this. So you basically wrote the story for Diablo, Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3, World of Warcraft, Diablo 2, Warcraft books and lore, and also Overwatch story. Said when you got a winning writer, you got a winning story. Yeah, so that's the thing too. Like, so that's like one of my pastimes. Like, and it's one of those things. Like, I never really tried to make it a career per se. But like writing stories, storyboarding, all that stuff, like it's kind of what I went to school for. I used to make graphic novels and all these different universes, and I like made comic books, and I did a lot of that stuff. And it's like, yeah, I think like once you start something, for me it was like I wanted to lay the foundation. So if at any point I do pass that specific thing on to someone else, they have a sound idea of what I want the universe to be, what I want the world to be. Because I think from there, like, yeah, I definitely think there's people that are expert story writers, right? Like they can take your core foundation and they can build on it so much more than you because they just understand so many aspects of it. I think that's something that like I was thinking about too. Is that like if I want something to be definitely a lot more story driven, where and not even like the story is the main focal point, but story does matter, I guess, to some degree, or lore at least. Yeah, you definitely want to have someone that's thinking and really focusing on that one thing. Because yeah, like storyboarding, writing story, like that is its own respective job, especially when you're really trying to do it right. And within a certain time frame, if you're trying to expedite it, you have to have somebody else doing it, because then there's too many hats you're wearing. But if I was like taking my time and then like say it was taking like it's gonna take us years to do it, then it's like, all right, I have a better chance of really writing something solid because I'm taking more time to actually think it out, build on the relationships, build on the universe, because that's the other thing. Like even when I started writing everything, it was just like I was more fixated on like not just the story at hand, but like what was the world of what leads up to everything that's going to be happening in the story. And it's like, you know, identifying who's who, I guess like what's the word? Like I guess like the boundaries of this universe, like what can happen, what has changed because of the things that have happened in the past, or what has caused things in the future to be a certain way from the past. It's so many questions you have to answer. It's just like it is a process. It's a process. So that's still like an ever evolving thing as well, because there's certain things where like as we're going, I'm like, ooh, I kind of want to emphasize this part more because of this aspect. So even like taking those things and then correlating and tying it into game mechanics, and like that's why I said it's like kind of ever evolving, because it's like the systems itself have to, for me, I want them to make some degree of sense to story context as well. So you don't just have these systems that exist and you're just like, where the hell did this come from? You know, so yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. He said when a good writer and creative director work together, so you'll make diamonds. Yeah, and that's what I'm coming to find. I feel like I'm more of in a position to do and really execute well, is being in that creative director like position. Like I definitely like have been considering that heavily of like I have a few people that's like, hey, I'll do the story stuff, but I think it's like vetting that. You know, like I said, even with the art stuff, like I was gonna just go and hire a freelance artist, and it was just like, does that really make sense to the scale of what we're trying to do? So there was that, you know, the consistency, like, okay, if this person decides they don't want to do it anymore, you know, now I need to make sure that I have an artist that can literally replicate. I got to try to find somebody that can replicate what they're doing. And so the art studio is just a no brainer. Considering that they want to work with us, like that's the other thing. It's not like they're actually pretty particular on who they work with. They don't just pick up everybody's project. And so like when I was like going over the GDD, like, I mean, I kind of had to pitch the game to them in a way, going over the GDD, going over, you know, the pitch. They still keep telling me they were impressed. They were just like, we don't really come across a lot of people that actually have this much stuff thought out on their own. I did all that stuff by myself. Like I did everything, my game design, mechanics, like all that stuff. I just sat there, and it took me a few months where I was just like really focused on like, okay, what do I want this system to be? How can I take this system that I really like, but make it unique to what I'm trying to do? And then also add to it. And even that, there's going to be some things that can also adjust and shift based off of like what is realistically within scope now versus what might be a thing later. And I also had to do that. I had to start kind of mapping things out for like different versions, because in my head I was like, oh, there's all these ideas, but you can't do everything all at once. That's one thing I am learning too with game development. You literally can't do everything. There's just no way, like, especially with a smaller team, you can't do every single thing you want at once. There's going to be some things that you may have to wait to, from 1.0 to 1.1 that you might be able to add it then. But yeah, it's been fun though. It's definitely been really fun. You said I played the hell out of StarCraft though, for both StarCraft 1 and 2. I was a Protoss all the way. Bro, listen. Yeah, it's like, yeah, there's those, and that's a really good game too. Yeah, it's a whole process, man. You say y'all over here beefing with the like button? Oh, I get what you're saying, Lonzo. No, dude, you know what though? I know that they were saying on YouTube now you gotta have your account verified to like stuff, which I don't know if like that's been implemented on everyone's account yet, but it is a thing. Dang, Drovis died. I don't know. With all this poison, we might have to actually get the gear up a little bit. Yeah, because once we get over here to the brood spider, we're probably gonna get clapped. Yeah, just go ahead and walk out of that, my boy. Oh no, it's Bolus. He was tanking. I still got hit by that, and I wasn't even near it. Yeah, I just got to build up my fourth a little bit. Yeah, I don't think there's an extra chest over here. Oh no, I got them all. I keep forgetting that they added it in the top, no, the bottom left now, that we can see our chest, because we couldn't see them before. All right, so we got the chest at least, so we just come back and do the surviving part. Yeah, it's so cooked for, and this is what I mean by like the early push and the neutrality of having an LD as a starter. I think this might be one of the few games where you start with an LD. Because I know a lot of games, they don't normally, usually it's an RGB. Your starter is an RGB a lot of the times. That, or they're just a complete neutral character. Let's see. You said you've been on YouTube since 2010. Yeah, your account should be good. It's the like, cause this account that I'm streaming on now has been 2011. I made it. That was my freshman year of high school. Like, it was funny. So yeah, I've had this account for a while now. So I went over YouTube and those who's watching treating me like I'm a cop. They left. No, it's all good, bro. That's the thing, dude. Like, and it's funny because they were talking about it in the official Discord for Invokers. They were like, yeah, we're not giving any incentive for anybody to be playing the game. So, like, that's also the thing too. Is like I'm playing the game because I genuinely enjoy it. You know, there's, like I said, there's new players coming in. You know, there isn't like a creator, quote unquote, program or anything like that right now. So I literally am just making content and enjoying the game and trying to help people. And you know, I think, like, of course, it's, for me, I like to see growth over time. I like to build relationships. It's nice meeting everybody I'm meeting as of the moment while things are small, because you can have more intimate streams. And it's a lot easier to also teach too, because like once official launch, like the global launch happens, man, it's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be absolutely nuts, because at that point you got to think about it. Invokers hasn't done any marketing yet. Like, they haven't done any real marketing on the game yet. So that, I know a lot of people are asking, I'm like, oh, why is there more people covering? I'm like, bro, it's because they're not, there's no incentive, number one. So a lot of creators do things for incentive, which makes sense, right? It's like your time, you know, what am I getting for my time? But then there's also no marketing, so the traffic isn't going to be high anyway. So a lot of the times when you have games that are, this way, say, okay, it's this way, so we gotta get the chest here. You say you're healing. Yeah, you if at most you suffer at most, I think, for 2 or 3 days, and then you get Orisa. Orisa is just goated. You immediately swap Drovis off for her, for your main team at least. But Drovis is still going to be good for tower. So she's not going to be utterly useless, but she still would be used for tower. You said the very first MMO I played on PC was Requiem, Bloody Mary. I remember that game. And you know what's crazy? That was probably like around the time I really wasn't playing much on PC. Because I didn't really like become a dedicated PC gamer until a little later in life. I remember I had a friend when I was in middle school that was like a PC gamer. He swore by PC. He was like, nope. Excuse me, PC superiority. I was an Xbox gamer. So I thought Xbox was just peak. I was like, oh yeah, no, Xbox is it. Like, I'm talking about the Xbox 360. Like, that was so ignorant of me. I had no idea. Yeah, this guy's healing is great. Because it's not the fact that he's just healing, he's also shielding too. So that's really nice. Oh, dude, the red ring of death. I got it. I got that a few times. There we go. Victory. Yeah, dude, there's like such a long time ago. Said peak for someone should always depend on the type of content you're after and which platform has set content. Well, you said peak for someone you should always depend on the type of content you're after and which platform has set. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, and you know what? Now I think about it, I was an exclusives like gamer. So like I was like playing, you know, like I really only had, especially like way back when. I mean, I feel like you knew this, but like I used to work at GameStop, when I was in college, and I started collecting when I started working at GameStop. I started collecting consoles. Like I had like 5 PS4s. I had um I had 4 Xbox Ones. I had like DS. I was collecting everything. But like when it came to the newer consoles at that time, there was like it was like the Destiny PlayStation. There was the Uncharted one. There was the PS1, the PS1 style PS4. That was like, I remember when I got that, and that was crazy. I don't even know why I was like, I'm gonna drop money on this, but I thought it was cool when I was collecting PlayStations. And yeah, I got to a point where I was just like, I don't even need any of this stuff. And then I sold stuff at that point too. And yeah, that was like one of the real reasons why I had a lot of consoles. It was, one, I was collecting them, but then two, I liked exclusives. So it was like it got to a point where I couldn't pick between Xbox and or PlayStation because I wanted to play God of War. You know, like I was like, I gotta go over there to play that. So yeah, it's like kind of interesting to see like where gaming is now, you know, with the digital, and even some things that were just exclusive isn't anymore. It's like Kibby was like, Dad, the game light changed colors, so cool. Yeah, that's Dad. I need he gonna have to spend more money. So cool. I got the red rings once, and I restarted my Xbox so fast, and it actually went away after that, surprisingly. But I think they said though, like once you got it, it was always like guaranteed to come back again. But I don't ever remember it coming back. Which way are you leading me? This way, so that means, oh, no chest over here. Chest over here. Chest over here. Yeah, I can't wait to have this chick built up, man. Oh. Yep, I figured. I was like, there's a chest over here. All right, now we can let it go. Oh, what? Oh, had me in a stun. Yeah. All right, there we go. Brood Mother. Oh wait, we'll try to clear chapter 7. I said chapter 7, 6-10, and get to chapter 7. Because we're already right here. That should be two stars. Yeah, so it's like that in between summon session. I'll probably show those summons in the videos that I end up doing, the recap video. Dude, I need to look into that gummy, because I seen it and I did not have a chance to look into it. I was like, yo, I'm like, are we about to uninstall and just permanently just not play Arise? I was like, when I seen that, I was like, oh my god. I seen one of the outfits that Sung Jin Woo is wearing now. I was like, oh. I was like, nah, they're trying to cook. So yeah, I gotta actually see what that's about. I haven't even seen any gameplay, but I seen it and I was like, oh, we might have to make some things happen. Yeah, I seen that. I was like, dude, we're getting another solo leveling. You said you saw a bleach mirror. Yeah, dude. I think honestly, Bleach seems like it's gonna be okay. I only thing, it's just Bandai, bro. Like I don't know. It's just Bandai. Like I'm always super skeptical with Bandai, man. I think they're gonna definitely. He said, "I mean, Bleach Legends." Exactly, right? Like, granted, I think the game is gonna be fun for what it's worth. But you think? Do you think for 2 seconds, Bandai is just gonna do? They're gonna do. They're not going to do exactly what they did with Legends. Because think about how Legends started. Like Legends wasn't always as like crazy as it is now, right? Like Legends was like was pretty accessible at first. So I just don't see them not doing that with Bleach. And that's the thing. That was such a smart IP for them to pick too, because Bleach fandom is pretty strong. It is.
Defeat.
Did we run out of time? Oh, we were on a timer event. Hold on. I was not paying attention to that. My bad. Gotta move a little bit quicker, I guess. Oh, we gotta escape. Oh, 2 minutes. Okay, my bad. Yeah, I was definitely taking the scenic route. Okay. Yeah, and these things slow you. That's crazy.
Howling Fang. Fighting Shadow. Phantom Claws.
I'll let them handle that. Are you guys still fighting?
Titan charged.
Jesus. We got 40 seconds. Oh, come on. Nice. I think that's everyone. We out of here? Nice. All right, we got it.
Victory.
He said, when this game officially come out? There's no official date, but really it's any time between now and the beginning of next year. So like early Q1. So I would think like January, February, March-ish, like maybe the latest. But yeah, we're in a early access open beta, so they just opened the game up to more regions. So there's definitely more players coming into the game, because even with my uploads, my views started to go up for this game quite a bit. So there's definitely a lot of new players coming in. But yeah, I would say possibly around that time. So it's really yeah, it's really probably around that time, I would think. And that's just kind of looking at like the roadmap stuff that they already dropped. They're still trying to add a lot of stuff, like core stuff that's kind of necessary for the game to be like, in my opinion, like a officially launch ready, or a global launch ready. Because we're in September, like for example, we're getting clan content, so.
Howling Fang.
Let's see, chest over here. I think that's it. All right, so we can let that rock now. Now we just got to fight a boss. Hold on one sec. Let's see. It says, there a rebate for people spending? No, there's no rebate because nothing gets wiped. So there's no rebate. You only really get rebates whenever they wipe your progression. There's no rebate. You just keep everything. So everything you do, you buy, you spend, it's yours forever. Until the game EOS. So yeah, that's the beauty. Even in the closed, it was a non-white. So let's see. He said Atana looks cool skin wise. Hold on, let me see what you're talking about. Oh, and you said you had Daenerys. Daenerys, I think, is a she a Magi support. No, she's not Magi. Where's she? Daenerys is no, no, she's a Iron Band support. She's okay. I'd say the ones that stick out, Fulric for sure. Medalia, I think, is she's Nocturna, and she's a ranged unit. I built her on my main account. Her defense break is decent. She is a burn unit though, so she's decent though. Yeah, Medalia is decent. Craval is, I feel like he's freeborn. No, hold on, let me see. Craval. Yeah, Fulric for sure is good though. These I'm actually kind of salty. I don't have him on my main account because I need to have I have Aspro. So Aspro is my shielder as of the moment, but I kind of like his kit because I think she's just mainly just shielding. Hold on. So and one I haven't had a chance to play yet because he's new is Ricklow. Ricklow is a newer character. Craval is new, so that's why that one didn't sound familiar to me. I think Craval is a little newer. So you got blind and evasion. Evasion buff goes up to 20%, or is it 18? Yeah, 20%. You have willpower, blocks control. That's actually a really good that's a really good buff. Yeah, block and control debuffs from being applied to the recipient. That's actually a really good buff, and he has 2 skills that have it. And then he also can heal. Craval, I would say, just looking at his kit, he has a res down, goes up to 40%, 2 abilities that can block debuffs, and specifically control debuffs. And then he also has blind, which makes it to where the target has a chance of missing their combo attack. So that's giving very that's very arena. That's very arena. Because he even has a launch with a reject. That's very arena. Hardened buff, decreasing the damage the recipient takes from all attacks. So yeah, it's usable in PvE, but that's very arena. Because like one of the things that you'll have to deal with quite a bit is stun. Like, so having 2 abilities that can remove, or just not even remove, just completely prevents it is actually kind of nuts. And then also having healing paired up with it with a damage mitigation. So I feel like that's a really good epic for PvP. But considering that your early game, like a lot of stuff that's good PvP is still viable even in PvE. Like that's the thing. So his ult though, I mean the blind, I guess that's a thing, but the evasion is really the bigger thing. Because with mob density going up, with having higher evasion just means that you have a high chance of not getting hit by stuff. Which inherently means less damage that you're taking. So I would say that from those, like the ones that stick out from that is definitely going to be Fulric And I'll say Craval. I definitely would have to test his scaling though to really be more confident in Craval. But yeah, Craval's is gonna be he's gonna be really high up there. I don't see how he isn't. Because even in campaign, like I'm not gonna lie, like even with monster density, there's a lot of stuff that stuns you. He can, yeah, I would say he's gonna be good. Yeah, because it's kind of giving a little bit of like what I feel like Kamfar is. He does so much stuff, but he does it well. So I would say I think he's gonna be really good. And then with what's his name, Fulric. Fulric is basically he's a shielder version with heals of Orisa, basically. Because Orisa has a defense up. So he's basically the same thing, but then he gives you shield. And then he also has combo speed up. And then he also has skill up recovery. So yeah, that's gonna be a pretty good character. I definitely would say, you know, when it comes to most supports, probably more worth to taking them to 5 stars first. I think your first 6-star would more than likely still be a damage dealer. Just because that's how you get, you know, max potency out of him. Let me see with his scaling. His heal scales. So like his heal is based off of the target's max HP because it's a regen. So it's based off the target. So you don't have to go crazy with starring him up as a first 6-star. I'd say outside of that, even with Medalia is like she's all right, but it's because she's burned. If she had more things like fixated on like crit damage, she'd probably be a little bit better. Just because once you get deeper into the game, it's gonna take a little bit for her to feel a lot better on your account. But she's still usable. That's the thing. She's not usable, so that still end up being a 5-star more than likely for your tower. But yeah, I would say Craval and Fulric, they're definitely going to be top tier to some degree. Let me actually check this real quick because I'm almost willing to bet they've already tested it too. He said don't listen to him, he's bad. Well, no, I'm right. Yeah, these characters are literally 1.5 characters. And that's comparatively to other, like, because anything really over them is like, yeah, these are pretty strong characters because a lot of our current value scaling is being done by which I am a part of. It's a clan called Firstborn. They're probably collectively the strongest group or players in the game. There's a few outside of that, but when it comes to like analytical data and breaking down characters and efficiently playing this game, yeah, they know their stuff. And those characters, like, yeah, those characters are pretty good. Yeah. Because even like my boy Kamfar, like he's ridiculous. The only thing that really would be better at that point would be like a Charvain, and that's, yeah, I mean, that's like RNG on legendaries at that point. So yeah, Craval is going to be pretty good. And even for your Spire in campaign, he's ranked really high. He's a 0.5 in Spire. So yeah, GG on that. And then even for, let me see, with Fulric, yeah, Fulric is still a T1, T2, so he's still a good unit. Yeah, those are the only ones that really stand out to me. Just looking at what you need in the game as of right now, and then kit-wise, everything else is just kind of like, whatever. But it's like I said, it's when you're talking about tower, you can climb with a freaking uncommon. So it's like those areas, it's like up to 50, it doesn't really matter. But then past 50 is where you have to start kind of thinking a little bit more on, you know, and really like at that point determining like, okay, I'm going to really full send and invest in this more. This is going to be a 6-star, etc. But yeah, you keep most things for 5-star. As of the time being, you really don't jump into 6-starring. Like it's too many units you have to build, and then you might like there might just be something that you get that completely changes your account, and then it's like, dang, I just 6-starred this crap. And so it just ends up being a missed opportunity at that point. He said buff Madalia. Yeah, I mean, there's probably going to be a good hand of buffs that happen. I wouldn't be surprised. Because between PvE, probably giving more value for PvP. We have like some epics that are cream of the crop in PvP right now in Arena. Like Nerval, for example. Unless if you get this guy here, he's like, I was seeing some damage testing with him recently, and he's pretty freaking ridiculous. Go back. Oh, I'm clicking everything but the button I need to actually click. Invoker. What is he? Let's see. So he is he Nocturna? He is. Alexu. Yeah, this guy right now is like kind of, I feel like he might be bugged. I don't know, but his damage right now is kind of dumb. I have no idea why it's like that. I think he might be bugged, but yeah, there's a lot of people that's building him right now, and yeah, he's doing some things. So yeah, like there's some epics in the game. Like, you know, he's one right now. You got also, that's another crazy one. And for some reason, I don't know, he said that's literally Scion. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's absolutely Scion. For some reason, they love making tanks damage dealers, like, and just doing stupid stuff. Like, they're absolutely ridiculous. You got him. You have, and these are some of the newer ones too. Elmia. She's, if I'm not mistaken, I think she might be one of the, if not the only one of like maybe one other unit that has a ult that increases damage by 100% if the target is a boss or a target mini boss. So she's people have been nuking stuff with her. She kind of definitely not giving main DPS and like super end game stuff, but she's definitely like a crazy sub DPS. And even in early, it's gonna still be main. You got like Kalis is really good. Foul Ray is really good. People like still use Kaleth as well. She really is not bad for tower climbing and stuff like that. Obviously, Kamfar is nuts. I don't know if you said. Did you say you had Delissa? Hold on. Did you? No, you didn't say you had Delissa. It was Daenerys. Okay. Yeah. So Ricorel is still like, these characters are still good. Like he's a tower tank god, and I mean just in general because he's a taunt tank with shield, so he's still really viable. Galad is a really interesting unit. He's a newer unit, so unfortunately I haven't tested him myself, but he just got added into the game. But he has debuff transfer with debuff increase with burn, with a res down, which a res down being scaled at 60% is actually really good. That's really good. Because like a lot of characters don't get, like, if you look at some characters, they'll be like 20% res down, 50 or 15%, 30%. This man got 60 at max. That's literally a legendary like scaling. Like, so that's really good. 25% movement speed down. He said 60% res down equal to like equal to 60% accuracy. I don't know the exact math equation, but like, for example, like depending on what it is you're doing, I don't know what the values shift according to what it is you're on. Cause like, for example, when you're on like accuracy is not an outright percentage when you look at it. It's like, well, actually it is. Actually, no, I'm lying. It's not. It's a flat number. So I haven't done the ins and outs. I know there's some people that have done it in the guild, but I don't know what the counterbalance is like res to accuracy, because like accuracy you can have on a given character like 400 accuracy, right? But then res itself, you know, he said, well, if you require 300 act, 60% res might mean you need 120 instead to apply. Yeah, and I guess that's the thing too, like PvE versus PvP, because I know on each boss we have a minimum that you kind of need to have for you to land anything. Like if we go to, let's see if I can even look at it. Nope. Okay, hold on. So I just go to I just look at it on my main account. So like to do a 16, for example, let's do Sakael. So accuracy minimum required here. Okay, so that's the thing. Even resistance is a little interesting too, because resistance is on Sakael on 16 is 475. So it's 475 resistance on the boss. So I guess it would be 60% of that you would be able to reduce. And then the accuracy is 105. Or sorry, that's what you need. It's 475. Or no, actually I said it right the first way. Yeah, it's 475 in the boss, 105 accuracy you would need minimum for you to land anything. So yeah, I guess it would be 60% of that. So it would be the 60% of 475. Yeah, bro. That's what I said. In this game, you start doing math. So instead, you might need 45. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of, and that's also the other thing too. We're kind of cooked a little bit when it comes to these values because they're going to change soon because we're going to get 6-star gear. So some of these, at least where we currently are at, it's part what our gear can give, what you get from Ascension, and then what you get from trophies. So that's kind of where it varies from account to account, because if you've done more trophies per element, you might have invested more of your accuracy on your water units versus somebody's done it more on their fire units. So it's like one of those things where it's like, I don't know, it's going to vary from account to account. But on a fresh account though, your accuracy scaling isn't like, it's not that crazy. Like it is important though. It's absolutely easier and one of the higher scaling things to get for people that need to land debuffs. But yeah, you're not hitting like the 300 threshold right off rip. Like that definitely happens a little bit later. But most of the stuff anyway, you're not, between Titan transformation and then skill recovery and monogen. Yeah, skill recovery and monogen are OP. Period. Like they're both very, very good. But monogen, I would say, is probably before skill recovery. Yeah, I would say monogen because all monogen is doing is just taking your base hits and just giving you more mana per hit. So it just scales better comparatively to everything else. Because even like skill speed, you need so much damn skill speed, it's not even funny for it to really matter. And then like again, comparatively to everything else, like once we get accessories, which is the like once we get that gear here on the bottom, and then we also get 6-star gear, skill speed might be OP. Combo speed might be really OP, right? Because you have more areas to get the stat so you can scale it better. Because yeah, like as of right now, you don't, even like with Instinct, like it's like just get it from your Ascensions. Like there's no point in trying to make that a focal point on your gear. It's taking away from a actual stat your character kind of needs to either scale or, you know, regen better or do damage. And then depending on the character too, like my take for example like my Thao. Yeah, like my Thao is crazy with monogen on him. So I do have some monogen, but I do got a mainly damage focus. But he's a character that innately with his skills he generates a ton of mana. So he's always helping with the invocation procs and stuff like that. So he's been a super huge contributor to my progression push, especially in late game and like doing insane mode. Let's see. Okay, so we got that. We're in water now, so that means wind should be fine. Fire, my fire tank, he gonna be fainting a little bit. Okay, wait. Actually, we're gonna stop here. We'll do this last stage. But yeah, so yeah, that's kind of the thing, man. It's like even for me, like I'm still really, I would say mastering every single thing because there's so much information in this game. It's like, and then the math and what values you really care about more change per character. Like each character is just slightly different or altogether different. It says auto equip gear useful early. No, it's better than what it was, but I would still look at the pieces because I would literally have an attack piece. It is just going to give me an HP piece, you know. So you'll have to look at the pieces just to make sure it's giving you the right values. But I think it really focuses on the set bonuses being fulfilled because that does kind of matter because you're not going to have every single perfected stat line that you're looking for in the early game. But it's good for what it's worth. It really depends on the gear you have on your account, though. Depending on what you have on your account changes what gets recommended or what gets auto-equipped. So that is kind of a thing. Like, for example, when before they just recently revamped it, like, it was like if you had a ton of lifesteal or vampire set gear, for some reason it would just give every character that. Like, it didn't care about any of your other pieces. It was just like, nope, you're gonna get that. And of course, that's not optimally the thing that every character wants, you know. Okay, so, but yeah, auto equip. I mean, for what it's worth, you can use it. I use it for like the characters just to throw stuff on them for like all these tower contents that I'm doing, and then after that, I start to like fine tune my pieces. You know, when you're first starting, yeah, the 1-star pieces, yeah, you're gonna have to use those. But like I would say, ultimately, you want to start shifting into minimum 3-star pieces, like, you know, a couple of 2 stars if you have to. I'm not going to go on any piece really like past +10 unless it's a mission where it's saying, hey, we want you to have a +15, this many pieces on a character, because I know I'm going to trash these pieces, right? I know I'm not going to keep them, so I'm not going to invest too much resources into them. Granted, you can always sell them, but you can crush or sell them. But yeah, you don't have to go too crazy. And let me see here. Well, actually, equip here. I actually might have a couple of pieces. So like my belt, we got combo speed. Yeah, so I don't have a good belt just yet. I'm kind of doing a broken set right now. Yeah, skill speed is nope. He says, is this the game official release? No, it is not. It's open beta, early access. The official release, like I said before, probably won't be happening till it's possible end of year, beginning of next year. I would think it'd probably be like more or less first quarter, more so. But okay, so yeah, that's at least what I'm thinking. Dark wise, I gotta go through these again just to see who I'm gonna have in the tower once I have my keys back, because I can't look at all my teams. That's one thing I'm hoping they do change, so I can look at my teams. So like this, for example, we're gonna take these guys out, throw them in, take her out, throw you in, take you out, put a tank in here. And that basically is going to be my water team for now, until I get another a rare. I'm gonna use this uncommon, but once I get another rare, then we're good. We'll take that out. Let me actually run this so this team stays. And now that we have a shielder, I actually might be able to progress better on this account for Water Tower than even my main account, because my main account, well, actually, no, I'm lying. I got Thassia now. Thassia is actually a pretty big unit for that. But before that, I was suffering. I need you to heal, my boy. Jeez, he gave her whole health bar shield. Yeah, shield with heals is just such a good, that's just such a good combo. All right, there we go.
Victory.
All right, so yeah, my water team sticks now. And then, like I said, like with these characters, you don't have to go crazy trying to level them all. You obviously want to throw some gear on them at some point, but Yeah, you can push them. They'll level some from just doing tower, because tower does give you EXP. Not just the drop, but the tower itself gives you EXP for clearing a level. So that's my water team for right now. We'll clear those keys in a second. Fire. Let's see here. So we did get a couple of units to try. We're gonna go ahead and use. I want to try this guy this rotation. We'll keep. We don't have any sustain, which is kind of the problem. And there's like one sustain for fire that there's only really one we can get for early game. And it's a dwarf Stoneheart. What is his name? What is his name? It is Meldrun. Meldrun is the goated 5-star low tier 3-star healer. Let me throw that on there. We should be good with Bolus with her in the back. She's still pretty decent. Yeah, that'll be our fire team for right now. I don't know if I'll beat this without me throwing a little bit of gear on them though. That's the only thing. So yeah, like in a situation like this, right, for these guys where I'm not going hard on them, like you could use auto equip on them. Absolutely, just so that you can like be done with it. But as eventually though, you are gonna have to like look at their gear, make sure everybody's like fine tuned a little bit. Bolus might solo this though. Yeah, so tank and melee. All right. Yeah, see, the uncommon is alive and everybody else died. All right, I think Bolus is at the end. See, if this is Confar, everybody be burning right now. And I did a rotation where I built Bolus on life, and I built Confar on life still, and it actually low-key works. Like man's be low-key doing stuff. All right, there we go. Yeah, so like yeah, he did 15k damage. Like that's just okay. So that team is solidified. We gotta throw a little gear on them and it'll be fine. Because they have 0 gear. All right, so boom. And then dark, that's kind of reason why we had to pull. Gonna have to run multiples of some of the uncommons to do this. Reki is a good one, so we should be good there. We only have 1 key though, so we're fine there. And then the other 3, we'll worry about that once reset happens. But yeah, you want to 0 these keys out. I would say first follow the missions. If you're like doing multiple pages, then do these slowly. But if you're getting close to like, you know, you're not going to get on the game, just 0 them out for the day. If not before reset. All right, so we got that cleared. All right, we're going to keep pushing. Do a little bit more off cam. But yeah, guys, that's going to be that. We'll be back. Probably actually have a video come tomorrow or Monday. Just for the first like couple days of progression. Update those that weren't able to come to the streams. Almost level 19, so we're getting our very first, outside of the one from the event, very first account level legendary codex, which you're absolutely going to hold on to those. And then, yeah, we'll just keep pushing. So, yeah, guys, appreciate you guys for coming through. All you guys stay blessed. If you're on Twitch or YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitch. Yeah, that's all I got. All right, guys. Peace.